Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
They got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case.
Really not true.
Dati mihi Anglican for his purpose Latino.
Is that correct?
I didn't ask you to interrupt me. Oh, for Trump's sake.
Good morning. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Happy Tuesday to you. In a slight change of plans, tomorrow's podcast day. It's Wednesday, but a rare Wednesday podcast. Just had a water delivery. Should keep us going till lunchtime. Welcome everyone, especially sample user. No, just kidding. Welcome Schmoopy69. Congratulations, the internet is all yours. You are eager, you are early, you are energetic. We're going to punish you for all those things. Everything IP-related worldwide is your responsibility. There you go. You are suitably punished. Is Stubby still not working? Okay, hang on. Stubby was working. One second. Try Stubby one more time, just real quick. I think it was working. Let's see. Command Stubby. Where? There it is. Let's test. Oh, ran into an error. Plain audio. We're on the right network. Let me check to see if I can see the drive where everything is. Backmagic Cloud Dock 2. Connecting.
Have them send someone with more experience.
There's Big Deal 1. Here's Big Deal 2. We've got both drives up. So now we're going to try this one more time. We're going to do a little test. That needs to go away.
I got a stubby little pencil.
I fixed it.
Don't put a diplomatic plate on a hoopty.
Everything's working now again. The world is good again. Everything is right that should be right in the world. Schmoopy, congratulations. The internet's all yours. Welcome. Welcome, one and all. All right, where are we? Why do you encourage Greener's behavior?
I got a stubby little pencil.
Yes, you're good. You're good, Greeners. You're all good. We're going to go to court in a little bit, but we have to sing some birthday songs first to celebrate. If we have any birthdays, I'm not sure if we do. We do. There we go. That was an abbreviated buffer, but I got it. Looks like we have happy birthday to Golly G, Ayden, Jackie, and Vivian. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and celebrate the birthdays as we normally do, which involves all of us working together to celebrate the birthdays. Thank you. Chat's back on screen. So Golly G, Ayden, Jackie, and Vivian, we're going to sing to you. By we, I mean all of us. Everyone, wherever you are, stand up, take a deep breath, shoulders back, project your voice to the back of the room, blend your voice with your neighbors, and warm up with me if you will. La 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 la. To sing to Kim Kardashian. I'm sorry. She can hire somebody to do it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Golly G, Ayden, Jackie, and Vivian. Happy birthday to you. Kim Kardashian would have to come and leave a massive super chat for me to add her to the list. She's got enough people singing to her today. Can't her husband write her a birthday song? Is she still married? Is she's married to like 50 Cent or something? Who is it? I don't know. I don't follow that one very well. Sorry, if 50 Cent, it was not you. I apologize. She was married to Kanye. No, they divorced. Okay. See, I didn't know that either. Golly gee, Hayden, Jackie, and Vivian, this is your wonderful day. There are many wonderful days. Today is yours. And I realize there are a million places you could be and a million people you could have celebrated with, but you chose to be here with us. The privilege, pleasure, the honor, the joy is ours. Hopefully we can turn your joy back, that joy back to you, make your day a little more special. Begin by helping yourself to free pancakes at Village Inn, Waffle House, IHOP, McDonald's, Tammy Dunlap's, Andy's Grill, Bob Evans, and Cracker Barrel. I did that in the wrong order. It was super slow. I could woo her with my birthday song. I'm not in the wooing market. Raiders, I'm not sure if you know. I have a Mrs. R.A. already. And I'm very happy. I don't need another. One is all I want. All right. Let the music keep going. We're going to be going to court here in just a minute. So. Big drum solo to finish it.
Thank you, sir. You're my new best friend.
There you go. Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you, sir. Your new best friend. Perfect timing. All right. Happy birthday to one and all. We are going to be going back to court here in just a wee minute. Got Legally Blonde in court in Warren County, room 3. And the only problem with this
I got a stubby little pencil.
Is that Warren County, room 3 live stream is not working. But there's an upcoming case with a hearing. Something we're keeping our eye on. Involving, hang on. Spoke with Otis Bailiff. Weekend storms knocked out the thing again, yeah. It's the Finley pretrial. The Finley trial. That's the one they told us to keep an eye on. There's a pretrial thing today. I'm not sure if we're going to see it, unfortunately. If you guys see Courtroom 3 come up, let me know. I know they've sent an email to their person that keeps the feed up, and that person has not done anything, so let me know. My brother got a video of me dancing the birthday song. Nice. Love it. That's what brothers are for. If a case isn't live streamed, did it even happen? Great question. The unaliving of a wife because she supposedly asked him to, right? No, this one, yes, Bad Mouse Finals. I think those are the facts in the Finley case. But the case we're watching right now, that we're looking at the wall for, is the unaliving of the girlfriend, not a wife, the mother of their 2 children, because she was going to kidnap them, allegedly. First time doing air drums, and it was perfect, says Melissa. What can I say? I'm beaming. I'm a great instructor. This proudest moment right here. Melissa, that is wonderful. Melissa Chris, wonderful. Is that one in Ohio, the Finley trial that Legally Blonde was told to watch? No, that is in, yes, Warren County, Ohio. I'm sorry, Red Pen. I had to get my counties and my states straight. Let's see. Good morning. How are y'all doing? Tomorrow is a couple things. It is hump day tomorrow. It is podcast day tomorrow. It's also garbage day for us. So we're going to make sure the garbage gets out. Otherwise, we get to sit with it for another week, which I don't like doing. So remind me to tell my son to take the garbage out when we're done. Luna Noxumba Umbra, welcome. You're part of the family. Yes, you're right, Red Pen. You usually are. We came to this conclusion a long time ago, if you don't remember. I am never going to second guess you. You're always right. The other 3 are up, yeah. It's crazy. Oh, that's exciting, Kim. My coworker cut off the tip of her finger this morning, heading out her garage for her house to come to work. Can I ask which finger? I know that I'm not trying to be heartless, but maybe I just need to know how it happened. It sounds incredibly painful and messy. But do you have her digits? Oh, greeners. Too soon, greeners. All right. Smashing fingers, terrible. I am actually scared to death of finger injuries because I used to work in a metal shop where they had, like, on average across the company, I think it was like a finger was shortened, either crushed or cut off every couple months, which they thought was pretty good statistically. I thought was terrible. It was terrible, but yeah, it was a machine full of it was a shop full of machines that just chomp, and you have to put your hands up where it's chomping. It's a terrible design. I worked on that machine. I was the lead on that machine, which is additionally scary because not only am I responsible for my 10 fingers, I'm also responsible for my assistant's 10 fingers on the other end of the machine, because I hold the controls that make it chomp. But yeah, crazy. I never had anyone get their finger gotten while I was working it. But days with no finger injuries, 0. Reset the counter for sure. Is there a job that RA can't do? Yes. I'm not. Well, I was going to say a fitness model, but I actually can do that. I'm just the before fitness model. So I guess no is the right answer. Sloth life, no. Spelunking, done that. Been through Nutty Putty Cave. It's currently closed with a corpse inside, but yeah, can't teach knitting and crocheting. I can crochet a long string. Once you try to loop things together, can't do it. Oh, camera got bumped. Let's see a little bit more. Let's see. Can you do macrame? I can't even pronounce that. What is that the paper art? Is that like making a piñata, or is that... I need more information, Luna. That's just making a change. Yeah, it's crocheting. That's the move, right? Everything else is just a variation of that. I've got the core principles of crocheting down. Leonard, it is terribly disturbing. It's a sad story if you followed the Nutty Putty Cave incident. And having been through the passage he got stuck at, it was, it is so dangerous. One way in, one way out, a very narrow cave, crowded, lots of people going through it. I remember being down at the end and having lots of people coming in, and you can't tell them to stop. They can't. It was so bad. I'm gonna have nightmares over that. Let's see. Jack of all trades, master of none. is closer. Origami is the paper one. Olympic gymnast. Ooh. Stacey Ray, I did 1 day in the gym. So yes, like you could say I'm a gymnast. I did 1 day. I remember that first day my instructor was trying to get me to do a front cartwheel, flip, I don't know what. I landed on my head. I pretty much did a dive, landed on my head, and I've never had good balance since. Like, I cannot do a somersault. If I do a somersault, I cannot stand up that day. It's terrible. Macrame is making plant hangers. Oh, with the rope, with the knots and everything, with the cool twists. I've got a friend who's like a pro at that. She was going to teach me, but I didn't have the patience. So basically, I've almost already learned it. Let's see. Did a little bit of spelunking. Like I go in mines. I used to go in mines a little bit. I don't recommend doing that anymore. Fighter pilot. Only on the simulator. I prefer make the micro macrame. Did you ever try TV weather reporting? Why, yes, I did, Greeners. Thanks for mentioning it. I believe you found the YouTube video where I do that. Good thing links are not active in here. Could you macrame HDMI cables? Now, that's terrible. You would never want to tie them in a knot. Lee, that's like sacrilegious. Waiting for court to begin. I think it's supposed to start at 9. Last time they started 8 minutes late, so possibly any minute now. People in court learn to fly a plane or read words, either one. I've flown model planes, both in real life and on simulators. And I'm a drone pilot, if that helps. See, learn to knit. It's the clicking that gets me. It's the sound of the needles. Click, click, click. Can't. See if I can name, while we're waiting for court to start, let's see if I can name all the jobs I've had. Gardener. Like landscape gardener. Ranch hand. Trying to do them in order. McDonald's, cook, and I also worked cash register in the drive-through. Pooper scooper in the parade, the guy with the wheelbarrow and the shovel behind the horses. Yes, I have pooper scooper on there. Let's see. I went through a phase where I worked a lot of little jobs for a little while. Like I worked in a brick kiln once, grabbing the bricks out of the kiln as they're still red hot with little tiny gloves. Let's see, water bottling factory. Did that. Greenhouse worker. So I planted plants and moved plants around in the greenhouse. I painted the house green. I did own a painting company. Yes. Prime Painting. May it rest in peace. Or pieces, as the case may be. Let's see. What else did I do? I worked in a metal shop. I was a salesperson, regional salesperson. So I was inside sales and then regional sales. I was a shop safety foreman, a line foreman. Not like the line foreman that work on the power lines. A tree trimmer. I didn't get paid for that, although I feel a lot of personal satisfaction from the end product. Let's send me some what? Bamboo needles that don't make any noise. Ooh. Do they give slivers, though? Dancer. No, but I did security for the Olympics. Does that count? Telling people they couldn't take their gun and their mace in there. I did that. Obviously, I worked for the Department of Defense doing IT. Ooh, looks like Judge is here. Maybe we get to hear some things. Oh, it's only in one ear. Hang on. Outside the presence of the jury.
Good morning, Josh Fleischer for the state. Good morning. Mr. Duren and Margaret Heddles representing Mr. Duren. Okay, good morning, Counsel. Good morning, Mr. Duren. Please be seated. Okay, just a few quick things before I bring the jury in. First of all, there was some discussion relative to the media access to the proceedings. We have attempted to try to clean up or to specify that during breaks that there would not be a live mic on. So I'm getting a nod from the back that that's, and a thumbs up. So again, I just urge, thank you for that, number one. Number two, just in case there's any technical issue with that, I also encourage everyone to be mindful that during breaks that even though there's an intent and an ability to turn off the mic, there might be a situation where a mic is live. So I would just urge people to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
Second, Attorney Duren, with respect to the two in-camera motions, I went back and I did grant those.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So I did.
I don't know that that came through to us, but
Okay.
I appreciate you checking.
So I think medical records was September 3rd by my reckoning, and the CAC was also September 3rd. So if for some reason they didn't get to you, then there's your notice.
Thank you.
Okay, so if there's anything in those that I missed, but I simply granted them as is.
You've been served.
Next, with regard to the motion to reconsider, again, I'm denying the motion to reconsider. I've got a few more comments to make with respect to that. I did review the transcript again relative to the statements at issue. And so adopting the reasoning as proffered by the defendant, but also a few more comments in that regard. Specifically, the state is offering the defendant's statement to the police as part of the transcript and the video, which has already been litigated. Based upon my review of the statement, it does contain hearsay. We've already litigated, and we had a specific hearing on this 2 weeks ago, the proposed redactions to the statement, and I've already made my rulings in that regard. As part of that overall statement, and I specifically go to page 56 of that statement, Mr. Duren, in his comment to the police, indicated, I'm reading from line 21, and then she just said, no, comma, I'm staying here, comma, and I'm not leaving, period. That's at page 56, line 21 through 22. So the touchstone or the lodestar relative to my analysis in that regard goes back to Mr. Duren's rights under these proceedings relative to the right to present all proofs favorable and the general confrontation right relative to a statement such as that. So based upon that and looking at Rule 806, which for purposes of this proceeding, I will read into the record relative to 806, that when a hearsay statement has been admitted in evidence, the declarant's credibility may be attacked and then supported by any evidence that would be admissible for those purposes if the declarant had testified as a witness. The court may admit evidence of the declarant's inconsistent statement or conduct regardless of when it occurred or whether the declarant had an opportunity to explain or deny it. So again, with respect to Ms. Nafsinger's statement, I believe that my ruling is that Ms. Duren has the right to challenge that statement, and I'm admitting it for credibility purposes in that vein. Substantively, I'm also allowing it for now as evidence to the claim, as evidence in support of the claim of defense of others. However, I would also note for the record that I'm still waiting for further legal argument relative to the issue that was raised during the motions hearing 2 weeks ago, which we will continue to work on that, and we will have to have a hearing on that relative to the defendant's legal position, to put it in the simplest terms possible, as to whether you can kidnap your own kid. So we referenced that during the hearing 2 weeks ago.
That's the crux of the issue.
As a legal proposition, not as a factual proposition, and that's something that needs to be returned to. I understand that there's a need to proceed with openings and the presentation of evidence before we get to the final jury instructions. However, that issue still is being yet to be ruled on, the specific ramifications of that. So again, I'm denying the motion to reconsider relative to a Rule 806 ruling as to the credibility, as to Mr. Duren's right to attack the credibility of that statement as he made it once that statement is offered into evidence as a hearsay statement under 8033 as referenced by Attorney Kettles yesterday. And then substantively, I'm allowing it for now, subject to how we end up having the legal ruling on the issue that I flagged last week. Attorney Duren or Spicer, any questions on my rulings with respect to the motion to reconsider?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, the motion, objection duly noted. Anything further, Attorney Kinney or Attorney Kettles, on that issue?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, thank you. And the final housekeeping matter is, just so council are aware, when the jury does come in, the first thing I'm going to do is inquire as to whether they have had any media exposure. In the event that they have, we will be taking a break. Okay, anything else before we bring the jury in? Okay, all set.
That's the fourth train whistle right there. There were four whistles, four train whistles during that. There's another. You hear them? You guys hearing them? There's another. Are we in like a freight yard?
All rise.
Or we're counting sidebars. Never mind.
Court County Superior Court is now in session. The Honorable Jonathan F.
Oh, we're counting trains. All I can hear is train. I'm not going crazy. It's there. We were counting sidebars, but now we're counting.
Okay, good morning. Thank you. Please be seated.
We are counting sidebars. That means we're at 8.
Okay, good morning, members of the jury. Thank you for your punctuality. A few quick comments before we get started for the day. I did indicate to you yesterday, as I think that you probably were aware, that there is a media presence during the course of this trial. And one thing I did not state yesterday, but I wanted to bring to your attention and to assure you of, is that one of the standing orders of the court system, it's not just my order, it's the entire New Hampshire Superior Court judicial branch, there is an order relative to the media presence during these proceedings. As you know, it is an open courtroom. But one of the standing orders that is directed to the media is that the jurors' faces are not to be shown as part of the proceedings. So I didn't say that yesterday, and I want to assure you of that, that your, whether it's still photography or whether it's any videos, that you would not be as part of that transmission. I wanted to bring that to your attention. And the second thing I wanted to follow up on is, again, because there is a media presence during this trial, if any of you have had exposure relative to anything in the media in the last 24 hours during the break since yesterday, if you could raise your hand and we'll address that if that has occurred. Okay, please thank you. Please let the record reflect that none of the jury members raised their hand. So I thank you for that. And again, that's going to be a continuing order and instruction to you to, number one, avoid all contact relative to any media representations or coverage as to what's happening here today. And as I said, to please take affirmative steps to avoid inadvertent exposure as well. So I thank you for following my instructions in that regard. Okay? Ready to proceed?
10 sidebars, not 8. Okay.
Tracy Flaherty.
Tracy Flaherty from Lord of the Dance, I assume. Let me see. Tracy Flaherty is not a civilian. Oh, intelligence analyst from New Hampshire State Police.
Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth under the pain and penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat. Good morning. Could you please tell the jury your name and spell your last name?
Good morning. My name is Tracy Flaherty. First name Tracy, T-R-A-C-E-Y. Last name Flaherty, F-L-A-H-E-R-T-Y.
Ms. Flaherty, where do you work?
I work for the New Hampshire State Police Major Crime Unit. I'm an intelligence analyst.
How long have you worked for the New Hampshire State Police?
I worked for the New Hampshire State Police since 2016. Prior to that, I was an intelligence analyst with the FBI for 16 and a half years. Then I was an analyst with Liberty Mutual, Special Investigations Unit, working medical fraud. And I had my own business for a few years before joining the state police, where I provided training to private investigators and law enforcement on the techniques of intelligence analysis, how it can be used in cold cases and missing persons.
Not a sponsor, by the way.
Thank you, Ms. Flaherty. You mentioned that you are an intelligence analyst. We'll keep it specific to the New Hampshire State Police. What do you do for the New Hampshire State Police as an intelligence analyst?
So I assist in major crime investigations. Those are typically homicides. I help generate leads by researching and locating individuals. I also review evidence that's collected. That could be based on a search warrant, so communication records, maybe financial records, social media. I may assist in looking at devices depending on the needs of the case.
Thank you. Ms. Flaherty, you mentioned locating people. Do you have any experience with the New Hampshire State Police or the FBI or any other of your stops on your career in working with cell phone location data?
I do. Since working with state police, I've had training in actual location data that's obtained from communication records from cell phone carriers.
Okay. And about how many times would you say you've had the occasion to do that?
Oh, I've testified about 10 times. This is, I think, my 10th trial, and I have probably worked on 75 to 100 different cases that involved communication records, and many of those involve location data.
Could you describe any training you may have with regard to cell phone location data and communications data?
Absolutely. So since joining the state police, I attended a training seminar from the FBI Cellular Analysis Survey Team, which is called FBI CAS Team. They're an elite team within the FBI that focuses solely on cellular analysis and location data. I've also attended some other courses from them. In addition, I have attended several online classes from their NDCAC, which is the National Domestic Communication Analysis Center. So they have to keep up with the technology. I've also attended training in person and live webinars from a vendor called Cellhawk. They have the software that I use to assist in the mapping.
Okay. So Ms. Flaherty, you mentioned mapping and using software. Could you explain what you mean by that? Absolutely.
So when it comes to talking about a cell phone and location data, your phone is continuously, in order to use it, it's interacting with cell towers. It needs to connect to an antenna, typically mounted on a tower. You're probably used to seeing them on the highway, those big, large structures. But they can also be an antenna that's mounted on a building or a sign. But anyway, your phone does need to connect to an antenna. And so what we end up doing is every tower has a unique phone number, or ID number, I should say. And within the phone records that we receive, that tells us what tower maybe an event is connected to. So for instance, a call. When you make a call or receive a call and your phone connects to a tower, that tower has a unique number. And in the data, we also have not only that unique number of the tower, but what side of the tower, which helps us give a general direction of where that device is when it's connected to the tower. So either for call detail records, which we received in this case, which is incoming, outgoing calls that are made, or specialized location records, which is engineering data, we actually get those unique ID numbers. And the carrier also provides a list of all the towers and those numbers, the sectors, which is that side of the tower that I mentioned where the antennas are placed, and then how those sectors are orientated. And so by matching that up, and the software helps because it's a volume of data, by matching that up between the two, I can then map that latitude and longitude of the tower that's being used, and then know what side of the tower. And as we'll see in the maps, you can get an idea of general direction of the device and then movement of that device.
Ms. Flaherty, thank you. That's quite a lot of information. I want to back up a little bit. You mentioned that you, in your work, doing this kind of work, generally use communications data. Are there different types of data that you receive related to cell phones?
Yes.
And who provides those?
That would be the mobile carrier. So in this case, it's Verizon.
So someone like Verizon, AT&T, some company
Correct.
like that? And that is data that those companies, is that data that they keep for their own purposes?
Yes. So for billing purposes, they have call records for their subscribers. And for their own business purposes, they have specialized location records that is engineering data that they use to be able to make decisions on coverage, maybe where to put an antenna, how to orientate their antennas, or working on upgrading service in a certain area.
So, Ms. Flaherty, you mentioned something called call detail records. What are those?
So call detailed records are similar to your phone bill. It shows calls incoming and outgoing. I'm able to see the date and time of the call, the numbers that are involved in the call. And if we are obtaining call detail records with cell site information, so tower information, then I see that unique number for the tower that's used during that event, along with what side of the tower, so the sector number.
So we'll have a visual in a bit that I think will explain the issue of the size of the tower. So you talked about call detail records. Are you familiar with something called RTT data?
I am.
What is RTT data?
That is the name for Verizon's specialized location records, or their engineering data. Basically, what that is it provides events when your phone is continuously interacting with the towers when it's on. The carrier's taking measurements of the speed of the signal from the tower to the device and back. And so when that measurement's taken, it gives an estimated distance of where that device is from the tower. So we're able to use that and kind of get a better idea of maybe where a device might be.
Ms. Flaherty, in your experience, do cell phone records or communication data also include something called subscriber information?
Yes.
And what is that generally?
That is the individual typically that is paying the bill and is subscribed to the phone, and oftentimes the user of the phone.
Ms. Flaherty, on March 1st of 2024, did you become involved in an investigation involving someone named Dustin Duren?
Yes, I did.
Could you please tell us when that happened that day and how you became involved?
I received a phone call from my team early morning hours, sometime between March 1st before 2:30 a.m. I received a phone call saying that they needed my assistance in initiating an exigency request for location data on a device that was associated with Mr. Duren.
Ms. Flaherty, I'm going to stop you there.
Sure.
I apologize. You mentioned exigency. What is exigency in
So,
your experience?
So exigency is a process that law enforcement is able to use in interacting with a carrier such as Verizon when there's an emergency and a concern for possible dangerous death or bodily harm.
Is exigency a process that's available when perhaps it's not practical to get a search warrant?
Yes, if it's deemed to be an emergency situation, yes.
So in the early morning hours of March 1st, 2024, you told us that you were asked to use the exigency process to do something. Can you tell us what you did?
Sure. So the first thing I did, which is required by Verizon, each carrier kind of has their own method that they want you to interact with. For Verizon, I initiated first calling their emergency hotline, told them the situation, and that I was looking for whether there was a current location on the phone number that I was given.
Okay. Was that phone number 702-280-5090?
Yes, it was.
And is that a Verizon phone number?
Yes, it is.
So when you made that first call with Verizon, what happened?
So they told me that there was no current location on that phone, which indicated to me that that phone was most likely off and not connecting to the cellular network.
So you mentioned that the phone was off, Ms. Flaherty. What are the scenarios where a phone would stop communicating with the network?
If you turn your phone off, if the phone could be destroyed, if you're out of area where there's no signal, no data, then it's possible that it's not connecting to the cellular network.
So at that point, did you know which of those scenarios may have been the case with regard to this telephone?
I did not.
So after receiving that initial information from Verizon that the phone was not communicating, what did you do next?
So then I initiated their emergency disclosure form, which was a request to provide historical information on that device. So, such as asking for the subscriber to just verify the ownership of that device, and then asking for historical call detail records, so those calls, incoming and outgoing activity. Also requested the last known location of that device before it stopped communicating with their network. The request also was for that specialized location data and text detail.
When you mentioned that specialized location data, do you mean that RTT?
The RTT, correct.
RTT data. So, again, what time in the morning is this that you submitted this form requesting all this other information?
So I spoke to Verizon around 2:30 a.m. and around 2:45, so 2:45 a.m. was when I submitted the form and received the results back about an hour later, I believe.
What were those results that you received?
So I actually received the historical information, the call detail records, everything that I had requested. They sent back via an email, and it covered the time period of February 29th, 2024 at midnight through March 1st at like 2:30 in the morning.
So roughly about the time?
About the time that I contacted them, yes.
Ms. Flaherty, you mentioned a number of records, including call detail records, subscriber information, and RTT data that were obtained early in the morning.
Yes.
Did the New Hampshire State Police later obtain those records again via a search warrant process?
They did, yes.
And was the data the same that was obtained?
Yes, it covered that time period in a larger time period.
So those records that you obtained through the search warrant that covered the same time period, did you review those records?
I did.
And
Sure, certainly.
Ms. Flaherty, I'm handing you something that's marked for identification at this point that states Exhibit 13. It's a thumb drive. Do you recognize that thumb drive?
I do.
Have you reviewed the contents of that thumb drive?
I have.
And what does that thumb drive contain?
This contains the historical call detail records, the subscriber record, and the RTT data that I used to create the visuals today.
So that is the data, some of the data that you received by a search warrant and reviewed?
Yes.
And did you use the data on this thumb drive to create a series of maps?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, at this point, the state moves to introduce Exhibit 13 as a full exhibit.
Welcome to the jury, Alexis.
Certainly.
Thank you so much. Glad the surgery was a success. We have a little sidebar here. I have to count this one. Looking for my mouse. Sidebar up to 11. Sorry, I have to watch the sound meter so I don't miss anything. Still static, still static. Finally getting to the data, information about the phone, where it was, what it was being used for, and why the state thinks it's important. Larissa 1825, welcome to the gallery. By the way, Alexis, on the jury. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. Sorry, I got to keep checking the audio here. They're still approaching, still discussing things. Here we go. I think we're... Seriously? What about the cell phone data requires this much of a sidebar? Why was this not handled at pretrial? It's always a mess when pretrial wasn't done properly. It leaves a whole bunch of issues just hanging out there for everybody to worry about in the middle of the trial. And don't want to make you listen to the static, but is she sipping an espresso? I think they've got water up there. Did she bring her own drink? I didn't see. Have we seen this lady before? She looks familiar. State Police. Don't all chats have handles? Or are you talking about other channels? Yeah. That's because the way YouTube works, they have a whole bunch of different servers. And servers get updated or patched incrementally, and they roll things out slowly. And so right now we're on a server that has patched handles like this. This lady's like, I'm just here to talk, and they're not letting me. So EDB is on a server that doesn't have handles. That's all it is. The servers are in different versions. There are some people right now who, when they live stream on YouTube, because of the version of the server they're on, their live stream goes both to the horizontal live that we have, the long form live, and it also automatically makes a vertical simultaneous live stream for shorts for people who are scrolling through on shorts. That's rolling out incrementally as well. Alexis gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much, Alexis, for your generosity. Good people there received those. National Hurricane Center says a tropical storm's expected to form today down in the Caribbean. Still waiting, still waiting. There we go. And we're done.
Over the conditional objection as indicated during the bench, yes, the objection is overruled and the identification may be stricken and it shall be considered a full exhibit.
All right, it's coming in.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Please.
Ms. Flaherty, you told us that you used the data on that thumb drive to create a series of maps. I've handed you a number of documents. The first one is marked States Exhibit 12A for identification. Could you tell us what this is?
Yeah, this is a document that depicts 2 pictures of a cell tower, your traditional cell tower, with 3 sectors. It's just to demonstrate to the jury the tower and how the antennas are affixed to the tower and orientated.
So this relates to some of your testimony earlier about how the data that you receive involves which side of the cell tower?
Correct. Correct.
Okay. And if you can look at everything else, put that aside and look at the rest of those, what are those that you're looking at?
These are maps that I created to assist in showing the actual movement of the device on February 29th, 2024.
So when you say the device, do you mean the cell phone associated with data?
Yes, the 702 number.
Okay. The 702 number that you began receiving some of that data in the early morning hours of March 1st?
Yes.
And that's the same data that's on that thumb drive, Exhibit 13?
Correct.
Okay. So you have Exhibits 12A, D, as in dog, E, F, H, I, J, K, and M.
Should be. They do not have the exhibit labels on them. No. Okay, yeah, this one does. Yeah, this one didn't. Yes, you're correct. Sorry.
With the exception of A, the rest are maps that you created?
Yes, that's correct.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how you created those maps?
Sure. I had mentioned it a bit earlier. We obtained the data in spreadsheets from Verizon, Excel spreadsheets, and it's a large volume of data. So I enter that into a program by a company called Leads Online. It's called CellHawk. And it assists in doing that matching that I talked about as far as the unique tower number that's in the tower list. I upload that Verizon tower list and matching the tower that's used for each event. So whether that event is a call that takes place within the call detail records, or that event is one of those RTT events where it's actually capturing that estimated distance to tower in the engineering data. And so that helps me visualize and make these maps. And then for quality control, I mean, I look at the raw data, I look at the maps, and I make sure that it is correct.
So, Ms. Flaherty, you mentioned that this data that you use to create these maps includes events, and that a certain event could be something like a phone call.
Yes, yep. So calls, or I typically call an event if it happens to be like an RTT engineering data, date and time event.
I want to ask you about that. When you say that there's an event that is related to RTT or engineering data, is the phone making a call or sending a text message at that point?
Not necessarily. RTT can be captured when the phone's being used, but it's when your phone is continuously interacting with the network and the carrier is actually capturing and measuring that, like I said, that signal speed, so that they can make some decisions when they look at that data for their own business process.
So would it be fair to say that as long as the phone is on, it may be communicating with the cell phone tower?
Correct.
And that is regardless of whether it happens to be in use for a call or a text or something like that?
As long as it's on and the data is available, yes.
Attorney Spicer?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Can the witness identify the program that was used? Again, I didn't.
Yes.
If there's the spelling of that program?
Sure. It's CellHawk, CELLHAWK.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Flaherty, you mentioned that you check these maps for quality control. How do you do that?
By looking at the raw data and knowing, understanding the sectors and side of the tower, and then making sure that appears accurate. And I also spot check the lat and longs and make sure that maps correctly.
You said lat and long. Does the raw data that you reviewed that's on Exhibit 13 include latitude and longitude information?
No, the cell site list from the phone company, from Verizon, when they give me the master list of their cell towers, it has the latitude and the longitude for each unique number.
Does the data that you reviewed include latitude and longitude information?
In the RTT and the call detail, I believe they have their separate list underneath, yes.
And so you use essentially the latitude and the longitude associated with those events and the timing to help place that phone?
The latitude and longitude of the tower that's in the tower list that's provided in that data is not necessarily in the row of the event is the latitude and longitude, just the unique number match is how we get there.
Okay. And so you did all these quality control and spot checks with regard to the maps that you have here today?
I did.
Your Honor, at this point, the state moves to introduce Exhibits 12A, D, E, F, H, I, J, K, and M as full exhibits.
No objection.
The identification may be stricken with respect to those specific exhibits, and they shall be considered as full exhibits.
Ms. Flaherty, you should have a screen right there. I'm showing you what's now marked for as a full exhibit, states 12A. Could you tell us what this is?
So this is a picture of your traditional cell site or cell tower. Like I said, you can have antennas.
Yay,
you'll see here where the arrows are pointing. those boxes, that set some antennas. And so on each side of the tower, you can see it's kind of like a triangle on this particular tower. It's a 3-sector tower. And so there's set some antennas on there. Each of those towers, like I said, has a unique ID number. And that's where your phone, in order to be able to send, receive a call, use your data plan, text messages, you're going to be attaching to an antenna that's mounted on a tower.
And when you mentioned different sides of the tower, this one has 3, correct?
This one has 3, yes.
And how do you use that information about which of those, in this example, 3 towers, when it comes to determining a location?
So in the records, there'll be a column for like a sector, and it'll have a number like a 1, 2, or 3. If it's like a 3G, you'll see actual sector. If it's an LTE, they're called an E-node-B number, and that'll be part of that number. Will have the sector, and that tells you what side.
So using the side and some of the other data you mentioned, you're able to help
tell which side of the tower, yes.
Ms. Flaherty, I'm showing you states Exhibit 12D. You see this?
I do.
So this is one of the maps you created. Could you please tell us what you're looking at?
So first, just to draw your eye to the red oval, it has a 1063. That's marking 1063 Main Street. It's the address there. And what we have, all these maps are for the 702 phone number device. And the device is attached to the northern tower from that address. You can see, if you look at where it says 538 to the north.
Ms. Flaherty, perhaps it would be better if you could come down.
Can I? That'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Well, we step right up to this large screen in front of the jury here.
I'm sorry, that's a terrible map. Now we can't see where she's pointing because she's pointing on the other side.
Oh, thank you. Won't go any further? Okay. I will speak loudly so I can actually maybe point. Okay. So here we have a marker for an address, 1063 Main Street. And here, when I'm talking about that tower I showed you, that picture of a tower, so this orange circle represents that location of a tower. And
cameraman, this is where you zoom in.
Is what just highlights for me the side of the tower that's being used by the device. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the device is in this dark circle here at all. It's just to kind of draw your eye to the side of the tower visually. But what it is saying is that that device is somewhere on the side of this tower. I know confidently that it's not up here because radio waves are not a pie shaped. You know,
I'll crank your audio here.
That device could be a little bit over here or over here when we're looking at the data. These arcs, it represents that estimated distance from the tower that I talked about that I get from the RTT data. It maps an arc, and it basically, as the phone is communicating back and forth with the tower, these arcs are represented. And when you have a lot of lines and it gets darker, or it just sits there a long time, you're going to get a lot of hits when you know the phone is stationary. So that gives me that indication. So here what we have is the device is connecting to this side of the tower at 538. It's somewhere along this arc at that time. I can't say 100% where it is along this arc, but I can confidently say that it's somewhere along this arc. Okay?
Ms. Flaherty, just to kind of sum up, so this map depicts which tower this particular cell phone was communicating at about 5:38 p.m.?
Correct.
And that's on February 29th, 2024?
Correct.
And this map is showing the city of Berlin, New Hampshire?
Yes, it is.
And so those arcs that you mentioned are the estimated distance from the tower. So as you mentioned, correct me if I'm wrong, that phone could be anywhere on that arc.
That is correct.
I can crank his audio, but
it's noisy. Is that 1063 Main Street in Berlin?
Yes, it is.
And does that appear to be sitting right on one of those arcs?
It is. Yeah.
There's another tower beneath that. Can you talk about that, please?
Sure. So then looking at movement, I look and you see that 538, we have the device connected to this tower. And by 557.06, it is now connected down here to this tower on this side, and there are the arcs. That indicates to me a change in tower usage and most likely movement. Okay, so that's how I start to be able to decipher that.
So what time was the phone communicating with that?
And down in Berlin tower is 557.06.
And that tower appears to be more in the center of Berlin?
Yes.
Thank you. We're going to move to the next one. If you can just stay up there. This is Stace Exhibit 12F. What are we looking at here?
So we're looking at the same device. All the maps are for the same device. So once again, taking off those estimated distance to tower because it gets really busy, you know, and a lot of lines and circles. So just to simplify it, this is still that engineering data while the phone is moving, but it's just showing you the tower usage and the side of the tower, just removing those lines so it's not so busy. And so once we started with 538 up here north of Main Street, and then on that previous map I'd shown you where it was connecting to this side at 557. You can see it, then it kind of swings around, it's here, and the device then is connecting to a tower down here more towards the Borum area at 626. After that, I noticed that there is actually a connection over east on Route 2, heading towards the Bethel, Maine area. So around from 643 to 658, the device seems to stay connected over east when it travels.
Ms. Flaherty, are you familiar with the area shown in this map, the Borum, Berlin area?
I am.
And so this map shows connection to a tower at 6:26 p.m. and then another tower further east several minutes later, 6:43 to 6:58. Is that about consistent with the amount of time it takes to drive on Route 2?
In my experience, that's about a 15-20 minute drive.
You're now looking at States 12E. Please tell us what you see in this, or what this map shows.
So just to continue to orient you, we've moved down to the 626. This was over at that time on east on Route 2. And then instead of there's no times, that moves along. And by 729, you can see that the device has moved along, and by 729, it's connected to tower in Whitefield. So it came back around and started to go south. So by 737, the device is connected to a tower down here in Carroll. And then coming further west, you can see they continue down, and by 745, that device is using a tower on 93 South in the Franconia area.
Thank you. This is States 12H. This far, you can please again tell us what these maps show.
Sure. On the left, if 93 is so long, you'll see this is a section of 93. So on the left, we had originally been in Franconia on the previous map, and you can see the device continues to use towers along 93 South, Woodstock, moving forward by 808. It's down here in like the Thornton Campton area, and continuing south using towers at 813. It's down even further south in Plymouth.
Plymouth area?
Mm-hmm.
So now moving to the right side of the screen, there's another map.
So thinking about 93 continuing down, here we have it now 827 in New Hampton, and moving along the different towers continuing to come down, and by 850 that device starts to use various towers in the Concord area between 850 and 1022.
So we want to add. Sorry, this is 12I for the record. What does this map show?
Okay. So now we're back to kind of looking at those estimated distance to tower. Here it was taking a look at the data to see is there any areas once the device got into Concord that maybe it had stopped for a period of time. Thinking at this whole time, the goal is looking for the device, the children, and Mr. Duren. So at this time, this map shows the device kind of hitting for a period of time, about 8:52 to 9:03, and this is a 9:03 down here. About 8:52 to 9:02, you can see this arc hitting. It's in this general area for those few minutes, is what I would be able to discern from this. And that's on North Main Street in Concord.
Ms. Flaherty, there's a red logo with a white S on it. What is that?
That's a speedway. So that is a reference of there's a possibility of a place that's kind of where the lines crossed. There was this speedway there.
And the speedway is a gas station?
Yes, it is.
And so just before we move on, what time frame does this map cover?
So this covers from the north, we're around between 9 o'clock, and you can see down, this is 9:01, but the estimated distance is way down here. So it's 9 o'clock to about 9:03. Here it's 8:56. So the total time would be about 8:52 to 9:03.
Looking now at State's Exhibit 12J, please tell us, first of all, where this is and what it shows.
So this is still in Concord. It's now on South Main Street. This was another location where I had indicated that it appeared that the device may have stayed for a period of time. Just north was that 9:03 that you saw in the previous map. By 9:06, it was here until 9:28. So this is what we would call an omni tower. That's why you have a circle. So basically, that's a one-sided tower where the antennas can cover the 360 degrees rather than a three-sector tower where each sector covers about 120 degrees.
Would that make it a dipole antenna?
So, Ms. Flaherty, does this tower show essentially from about, you said 9:06 to?
About 9:28, it was in that general area.
Phones in this general, and this is south of where we were
Yes.
previously?
Yep, still moving south.
South in the city of Concord, New Hampshire?
Yes.
So this is State's 12K. First, could you tell us what this map shows in terms of location and time?
So this is still in Concord, now in the vicinity of between South Main Street and Hall Street. This is also RTT data, but without the lines because the device sat here for a period of time. It was extremely busy to show all of the lines. So basically from 9:58 to 10:22, that device was connected to this tower here, the 61909 tower near South Main Street, and had about 27, those RTT, I call them events, right? So 27 hits. So it was stationary there for a period of time while there it was bouncing off of this Omni tower between 10:05 and 10:15.
So, Ms. Flaherty, again, could you tell us the time frame of when that phone was connected?
This would be 9:58 to 10:22.
And is this location Concord further south?
I think we're getting closer to when he turns his phone off. Notice the speedway symbol on there.
Ms. Flaherty, on the left side of this map, there's a red box with some information. What does that information tell you?
So in looking at the call detail records, there was a call while this device was connected to this tower. So this information is coming from the call detail records, echo call activity, that matched up with the usage of this 61909 tower for Sector 2. You can see that last number is a 2, that's the sector number. And so this would be an outgoing call from the 702 number to a 763 number. That was at 10:08 p.m. while the device was in this area, and that call lasted 13 minutes and 36 seconds.
So that call was placed at 10:08?
Yes, it was.
And was that an outgoing call from that 702 phone number?
It was.
Can you read us that number?
So the called number was a 763-350-0954.
And the number that made the call, what number
Was
was that?
this 702-280-5900.
And that 702 number that made the call, is that the number associated with the phone?
Yes, it is. It's the number that is connected to this tower.
How long did that call last?
13 minutes and 36 seconds.
And this is the last one. Ms. Flaherty, can you tell us what we're looking at here?
So this here is RTT data. This is from the raw data, just to show you, this is the last actual event on that device before it went off. And it matches the time that we had received from the phone company as to the time that the last location for the device, which is the morning of, or the evening of February 29th, 2024 at 10:22:30 p.m.
So 10:22 p.m. on February 29th, this phone, that 702 number, stopped communicating with cell phone towers?
It did.
Okay. Ms. Flaherty, you can please return to stand. Thank you.
Broken Baker is about to hit 20,000 subscribers. He needs less than 100 people to do that. If a couple of you could go over and give him a subscribe, he would love that. It would be awesome if he gets that during this live stream. He's covering the same trail.
Okay.
There.
All right. Thank you. Counsel.
Sidebar. Yep, they're going to sidebar, I think. Yep. So I've got to crank this audio down. I had to boost that like 15 decibels to be able to hear that. That was crazy.
Jerry, we're going to take a 10-minute break right now to allow counsel to deal with some exhibits, so that we're
fading to black.
So they're not wasting your time at this point. We may take another mid-morning break. We'll see based on the testimony, but we will take a 10-minute break right now. So why don't we say 10:15? We'll resume at 10:15. Okay. Again, please do not discuss the case amongst yourselves. All right. Thank you.
All right.
All rise for the jury. All right, we're going to go right here for just a minute. We've got to do some syncing. That's what we need to do. We need to do some syncing. We need to pause this right now. Okay, this part of the testimony of this part of the trial is sometimes a little slow, right? It's sometimes just a tiny bit a bit monotonous to sit through, as we have all heard ad nauseum how cell phone towers track cell phones. It is incredibly painful sometimes, but this is very important data to piece together what happened, especially if we start talking about what the defendant says happened during this time. If he's talking to the police, if he is sharing his version of the story, he's sharing his version of the events, and it doesn't match up with the data that we can prove with what we have like right in front of us that we can see and put our hands on. Okay. Yeah, I just first try sync that up, just so you know. Then you've got a problem. Then we've got some problems. Quick recap. We were just listening to cell phone. That's what I was talking about. We're just listening to cell phone tracking data, information about the cell phone that belonged to the defendant. That let's see if I can do this one in. Oh, I can't do it in 8. Oh, bummer. Grr.
Hush. Now I'm trying to have court. Don't raise your voice again.
Okay, I need to fix 7. Just 1 second. Close that. Close this. Back here. Sorry, let me get this set up correctly. I think we're good. Sorry, I'm syncing things, guys. We need to match things to the millisecond. Let's see. Did we count the sidebar? We didn't count the last sidebar. I need to do that. We're up to 12. All right, 12 it is. Here's where we are. Let me explain where we are this morning. This is day 2 of the trial. The defendant, Dustin Duren, is charged with the murder of his girlfriend, the mother of his 2 children. They had it started out as a good relationship, ended in a bad one. They had 2 kids together. One was 4, one was 1. It ended up that he thought that he was going to move to New Hampshire. He was going to get out of there, and she was going to follow later, or he was going to move to another part of New Hampshire. I think it wasn't out of state, was it? I forget. When the day for the move came, and he was going to take one of his daughters or both of them with him, when the day for the move came and she was supposed to get ready and come with, she's like, I'm not going. And she wouldn't talk to him all day long. She wouldn't answer his questions, and every 15 minutes he'd ask her, what about now? Can you listen now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Very childish type exchange was what was described. And it got to the point where basically everything was loaded in the car except for the people. And so the defendant then says, it's time to go, get in the car, and Caitlyn grabs the daughter and holds her on her lap and says, I'm not going. They get in a fight over the daughter, literally, like tug of war fight over the daughter, which escalates until the daughter screams because it probably hurts to be the rope in a tug of war. And the defense says that then Dustin grabbed the gun that was sitting right there on the table, loaded it, grabbed the daughter out of Caitlyn's arms and shot her in the head once, because Caitlyn said, I'm going to, in that moment, she started talking a lot apparently, said, I'm going to kidnap the kids, I'm going to take them away, you're never going to find us, we're going to be gone, I'm keeping the kids, you can't have them. Basically everything that would be, kidnapper-ish, she started blabbing out in the last minute right before he shot her, once in the head. The problem we have is when the police arrived on scene, Caitlyn was wrapped up in a blanket on the couch, with the foot up on the coffee table like she was just chilling, and had been shot once in the head. And it's hard to envision that a struggle went on during that time. But that's the story we've been told. The defendant grabbed the kids, got in the car, grabbed his computer, got in the car, and drove away. Called his parents and said, so I just killed Caitlyn, so you probably should call the cops, I'm thinking. But I'm gonna go dark for a while. Gonna turn my phone off and just gonna hang out with the kids because I want to be with the daughters for a while. I'll turn myself in tomorrow. Tomorrow, his plan was to turn himself in, but he got caught before he could do that, and they took him into custody without incident. And once he's in custody, he told his story. We haven't heard that story yet. We will be watching that and listening to that, but that's his story. He's saying he basically did it in the defense of others, in defense of his children who were about to be kidnapped by their mother. The judge says, we have an issue to resolve before this can go to the jury. Can a parent with legal custody kidnap their own children? That's a big question. Mathis agrees. Hi, RA Crime Family. I was too tired to catch an opening song. Can I get a happy birthday verse for my nephew Felix, who was born at 1:42 a.m. today? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Felix. Literally, happy birthday to you. There you go. Felix, happy birthday. And Mathis, congratulations. You got a brand new nephew. Thanks for sharing that information with us. Welcome to the world, little Felix. Yes, it's not as bad as we all talk about. There's some good stuff out there, too. Yeah. Virginia, I'm having a hard time making the stories fit together. We already know the police interview is going to have bad audio because they're talking about a transcript, right? Yeah. But we'll do what we can to fix it. Let's see. Karen Dietrich, good morning. Good to have you here. Defendant is a man, baby. Okay, I think you might be onto something there. Felix is a strong name. Yes, it is. I like it. All right. Couple more minutes here, and we're going to kick things off with the post break. I just noticed there's a tiny little overlap issue on my screen that I need to fix, and that is with window number 1. Needs to go click, 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 click. There it is. I fixed it. Oh, that's one too far. Back one. There we go. Now it's perfect. It was off by 3 pixels. Andrew C78, member for 30 months. That makes you an OG. 30 months already. I know. Where does the time go, Andrew? Welcome. It's wonderful. Good to have you here. Wouldn't be the same without you. Appreciate you. Thank you, Andrew, for your huge support of the channel. Let's see. We're going to have a baby girl next week. Palmer Kate. That's exciting. New job idea for you. Go to all interrogation rooms and fix audio. Oh, my goodness. This is like a dream job. But at the same time, I'd have to bring like a board and just hit myself in the head. I'm like, I can't believe they're this stupid. You know, who thought to install the air conditioner right next to the microphone? And then pay lowest bidder for the air conditioner, and it sounds like a chainsaw when it's running. I mean, who does this? And then you've got hard floors and metal chairs that aren't like level, and yeah. Most interview rooms could do with just a little bit of that little fake tile carpeting. Okay, that's safe. Their inmate can't do anything with that. Put that on the floor. Glue some foam strips around on the wall, like the soundboard stuff, and just cut the echo out. That would help a ton. How's the Stump Guy Pumpkin? He's doing great, Becca Leby. Out on the front step. I'll have to take a picture of it. It's showing off. It's doing its thing. Wayne Hatchell, member for 31 months. OG. I thought there was an earthquake, then I realized my leg is shaking. The sign. Yes, it was you. I saw that. If you could not do that, Wayne, that would be great. Congratulations, Wayne, on 31 months. Can someone fix the sticker seal for New Hampshire? Make it straight. I think it's glued to the wall. It might just be a sticker. It's so low profile. It could be like there's a tiny shadow. It could be just like a plexiglass, like a piece of plexiglass with an adhesive sticker on the front. Also built by the lowest bidder. Let's see. Broken Baker just needs 37 more subs. 37 more subs. This is Broken Baker's YouTube channel. All you have to do is sub and come right back if you haven't. Broken Baker is a great content creator, very much interested in some of the same cases we follow. A little bit different, does a different style, but also has a wonderful audience. Very fun. Very fun to hang out with. I'm glad I've got to do a couple things with him. He's rated us more than a dozen times, and we've tried to return the favor a couple as well. So if we can get him to 20K, that would be just awesome to see him hit that amazing mark today. And then let me just check. He's so close. Let me pull up his stream on my... He's at 19,970. He needs 30 more. 29 more. Okay, he's getting so close. He does cover court a little differently than we do, and that's all right. 19,981. He only needs 19 more, 18 more. While you're there, I'm going to like the stream. So 15 more, 14 more. Let me see if I can show you his stream real quickly. I can't. Northwest. 5 more. 5 more. Three more. 2 more, 1 more, and there he hit it, 20,000. That's awesome. Thank you for helping a friend. That is just so cool. I love helping other creators when we can. Broken Baker's awesome. Yeah. Congrats, Broken Baker, on that. That just makes me happy. Let's see. Broken Baker was the first streamer who had you as a court watcher. That's awesome. I love it. Here's the thing about LawTube and LawTube adjacency, where I currently reside. There are so many different styles of coverage for a trial. There's so many different ways people can cover and discuss and share their love of true crime, and none of us are the same, right? So you can find a space that's like, well, I like this one. I tell you, there's sometimes I really like how Emily D. Baker delivers the goods on a trial. And there are some times where I just need to hear Ian Runkle's Runkleisms as he's describing the crazy things that happen to him and around him and in court. And you cannot find somebody who is more compassionate than Rob on Law and Lumber, as he understands, what it means to somebody who's going through this as a family law lawyer. He's, there are just amazing things. Peter Tragos, love his take on everything, getting his dad's take at the same time. And there's fantastic people all over the place in the world of true crime that you can find somebody that can help. I think we're back to court here in just a minute. Let's see if we can get some audio. Witness is still on the stand. Got a good hard focus on her pin. That's great. Judge is back. Should have sound. There we go. Now we have a sidebar again. We're going to count this as number 13. Because why not? Let's start everything with a sidebar. Defense Diaries is great. They're probably 24 awesome creators we can name just off the top of my head, but parental kidnapping. Thank you, P. Cooper. Appreciate it. So excited for Broken Baker hitting that threshold, 20,000. It's a huge win. Onward and upward. EDB is where I got my legal education. No wasting money on unnecessary classes for me, and it's entertaining all the way through. It's always fun to watch EDB. Love the humor of Loophole Lawyer. Oh, Grizzlies know where to go for a deep dive for sure. Now, if attorneys would just use the mics, they're coming back here. It should get sound in just a second. Baker's lying about you, saying you're a nice guy. Well, I'll get him back later. So. All right, jury's coming in.
All rise for the honorable jury.
All rise for the honorable jury. Nice. I like the respect they're getting.
Court County Superior Court is again in session.
Sloth Life.
The Honorable Jonathan S. Frizzell presiding.
Thank you. Thank you, Sloth Life.
Thank you. Please be seated. And Ms. Flaherty, you're still in row.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Morning, Ms. Flaherty.
Good morning.
So as part of your investigation, you received records first from Verizon through the exigency process, correct?
That is correct.
And then later on, you received records from the search warrant?
That is correct.
And the search warrant records did include a longer duration of time, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so the first records were only February 29th to March 1st, less than 24 hours.
Less than 24 hours, correct.
Okay. And the second set were about a month? Or...
Yeah, that is correct, yes.
Okay. And When you received the records from the search warrant, you reviewed all of those, correct?
I reviewed the records I needed to for location data.
Okay, and can I approach Your Honor with Defendant's Exhibit B for ID only?
Certainly. We're going to have to tweak the audio because she's really loud in the mic.
Showing you what's been marked at Defendant's
The lawyers are
B
quiet.
for ID.
Right.
Does that look like the records that you received from Verizon?
That is, yes, that, can you scroll down? I just want to.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
there's quite a bunch.
There's a lot of records, yes.
To include the device that we're talking about, the 702 number 5900 ending phone call records, correct?
Yes, yes, the historical call detail records, correct.
And text messages, correct?
There was content and text detail, which is just the numbers that are texting back and forth, correct.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Number 13 goes to number 14, just like that. I wonder if there's a motion in limine that basically the judge has ruled and said, before you admit any evidence, approach the bench. Because it seems like every single item we're going up and talking to the judge about. By the way, let me just say, as she takes a tiny sip of water, let me just say in my house, there are 2 heat registers which work much better than anywhere else in my house. And they are both in my office. The rest of my house is pretty cold. And Hellfish Haven, thank you very much. Glad we could help out a little bit. Broken Baker is awesome. We've enjoyed having some overlap in our communities for a long time. Tell him congratulations from us. Bree, I don't know. I have no idea. And honestly, I'm not digging into that one at all. I can hear a bird tweeting. Anyway, my room is really, really hot, and the rest of the house is cold.
You reviewed some of the records. Did you review the any of the SMS content records in your analysis?
So not in my analysis, no. I did note that there was SMS content provided. It's not always provided. I noted that verbally to my team that it was available. My focus was on location.
Okay. And when you noted it was provided, did you open it up and look at it, or did you just see the headline on the...
I opened it up to make sure that there was actually content visible, that it was there, yes.
What's the whispering about?
This spreadsheet, let me go back for a second on my file here. This preserved redacted SMS content spreadsheet is the document that you opened and looked at to confirm there was SMS
content available, yes.
Congratulations on 20K, Broken Baker. That is awesome. Super excited for you.
You go to the right, that's where you should see content. Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, may we approach?
They're going to approach again, which means we go up to 15. Yes, they are floor registers. I normally put books on top of them, but right now they're like behind boxes and furniture, so. Love it. When's the party? When is the party? The 20K stream. I'm not sure if I can make it, but send an invite. I'd like to at least pop in and say hi. SMS wasn't her job. Location was. Others looked at messages. Okay. I don't like that answer. Wasn't my job. Now, I realize there are some times when you're not supposed to do somebody else's work, but I think the excuse, I wasn't asked to do that specifically, so I didn't, is overused. Hey, Squeegee of Justice. Welcome. The sidebar. Can I see you at sidebar? There's a lot of time at sidebar in this trial already. We switched. We were initially going to count the number of times they mentioned Marine or PTSD. We then switched to counting train whistles because apparently there's not far from the courtroom a major train yard or something. And then we switched to sidebars. We started counting when there was 5, and it was at 8, I think, this morning. Jumped to 10 quite quickly, and now we're at 15. So, is this lawyer's computer going back to the jury? Why isn't there another way to show the witness? Technology. They struggle with it a lot. Vivian, this is a murder trial. Defendant is accused of shooting the mother of his 2 children, his 2 daughters, who were aged 1 and 4. And were present at the time of the shooting. He doesn't deny it. And you're saying, well, why are we here in court? Well, he's saying he shot her because the mom was going to kidnap the daughters. Ironically, he then took the daughters and left and went dark, and there was an Amber Alert issued for the girls when he had them in his custody after killing their mom. He was caught the next day by the police. He says he was on his way to turn himself in.
You look good.
And that's where we are. I'm not buying all of his story, though. What we've heard in the opening statements, it just is not adding up for me. And I mean, there's a couple things. First of all, I think that in order to shoot, and I say this as somebody who has, at various times in my life, been licensed to carry a concealed weapon and had been attended a lot of training on the use of deadly force in self-defense and defense of others. If there is not an imminent, active, present threat, you can't shoot. You can't shoot. And the police going into the apartment, finding the mom wrapped in a blanket with her feet up on the coffee table like she was just chilling watching TV, and a single bullet wound. That doesn't look good. He says there was a struggle that went on. They fought over a child, literally, like tug of war, until it hurt the child, and then he grabbed the gun, grabbed the child out of her arms, this time successfully, and then immediately shot her all within a couple seconds. Maybe Megan, maybe not. 29 months. Should we refer to us as toddlers or keep on with the months? This is Megan. She's 184 months. Okay, you all are loved. Megan, welcome to the gallery. 29 months makes you an OG. The sidebar continues. Nope. And we lose audio again in just a second. Let's see if we can listen on this side. I've got the door to my studio office open to let some of the cold air in and the hot air out. It's helping a little bit, but you might hear some noise from my family as they're doing school in the other room. Yeah, I didn't see the danger. Now, obviously, I wasn't there present for that, but I'm just struggling to see, even as a trained Marine, right, who's just trained to eliminate the threat, where was the threat? Where was the threat? I'm sure he was mad. He was angry. So happy for Baker. Laura, we all are. 20K is super exciting. Not believing the story at this point. Why are we saying our 2-year-old is 24 months old? Cass, can I tell you my honest answer to that? I think it's because children advance and start. Oh, we've got a prank call. Hang on. They start growing so fast that those benchmarks come quick. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Clarity to confirm, the documents that you received from Verizon
I tried.
through the search warrant request included, amongst other things, SMS content.
That is correct.
And SMS is text messages?
Yes, it's short message service, yes, text messages.
Okay, and you did open up the file to confirm?
To make sure it was populated, and then I let my team know, yes.
Okay, populated meaning?
Meaning that there was actual content. Sometimes they say no results, but I wanted to make sure that there was actually something there.
Okay, thank you. I would like to show you what's on State's Exhibit. I have your number. US 13.
Do we need to approach again? Because we have another picture.
Your Honor, I'd like to publish States 13 and have Ms. Flaherty step down to the screen, the large screen.
I can just see what we're publishing.
Certainly.
Oh, the for sale sign is still on that laptop. The tag's still there.
So 13 is a full exhibit, and you've confirmed what you're going to publish?
They both had legal custody.
Okay. All right,
They
certainly.
lived together as parents with the kids. This was the first act of separation. There had been no legal
Thank you.
process splitting up custody. See if we can post it on the screen here. Seriously, you turned off our monitor?
Can you see the highlighted laptop row right there? I can. Okay, and it's 46, yes, line 46, and it shows you that the cell phone 702-80, sorry, 702-280-5900, the cell phone that we have been talking about, correct?
Yes.
Dialed 603-752-3131 on February 14th, 2024.
On the 14th, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, I've got to boost the audio every time. I don't know why we didn't get a picture on that one. But
Okay, I have no more questions. Thank you.
Redirect? Okay, can Ms. Flaherty be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
both lived in Minnesota. He moved to New Hampshire.
The state
She
calls
came
Dustin
day before
Duren.
to visit. The crime had to happen in New Hampshire, so I think you're right on that, Northwest. Maybe I'm mixing my trails up. She had one child, and he had the other, and she came to New Hampshire. That was the plan, and then she wouldn't leave, right? Distracted by the trains. It's our next witness.
Would you raise your right hand? You swear that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth under the pain and penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat. May I inquire, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Sir, can you please tell us your name and spell your last name for the record?
Justin Rowe, R-O-W-E.
Can you go to the
Sir,
mic?
where do you work?
I'm employed as a detective sergeant with the New Hampshire State Police.
How long have you been with the New Hampshire State Police?
25 years.
What unit of the State Police are you currently assigned to?
The Major Crime Unit.
And just generally speaking, what does the Major Crimes Unit do?
We primarily investigate death investigations, homicide investigations.
Sergeant Rowe, I'd like to ask you, what is an Amber Alert?
Here we go.
An Amber Alert is a emergency alert that law enforcement can issue when we fear for the safety of a child.
So fair to say that an Amber Alert relates to emergency situations?
Yes, it goes out through the emergency alert systems.
So when an Amber Alert is activated, and we'll talk more about that, what happens, generally speaking?
Initially, the call is vetted out by law enforcement. There's usually a request by law enforcement to issue that. Once that criteria is met, there's paperwork that's prepared, and then it goes out through the New Hampshire State Police Communications, through the WIA, the Wireless Emergency Alert System. There's also a press release that goes out. We also partner with New Hampshire Lottery, New Hampshire DOT for the messages that go out. You'll see the signboards on the highways. It's kind of a group effort to get the information of the child in a suspect vehicle out to the public.
Sergeant, you mentioned boards on the side of the highway. You mentioned the press release. You mentioned the lottery. Does an Amber Alert also get distributed through text messages?
Yes, if the subscriber has it set to that, yes.
Okay. And when, just generally speaking, when an Amber Alert goes out by a text message, what happens?
Again, it's through the wireless emergency system, so it goes out from our state police headquarters as the communications software. Once it gets pushed out through that, it goes to various cell phone towers or companies, and it's really at their discretion of how those individual companies distribute that. And again, how the end user, everybody can kind of have their phone set to different priorities.
In the state of New Hampshire, who can authorize an Amber Alert?
The New Hampshire State Police.
So if a local police department encounters a situation that they may believe warrants an Amber Alert, what do they do?
They'll contact the State Police Communication Unit requesting that, and we have state police detectives that are trained in that, and we're on call, and we would respond, and we'll reach out to that requesting department.
Are you one of those individuals with the state police who is trained to respond to these situations?
Yes.
And do you have the authority to authorize an Amber Alert?
I do.
And that relates to the state of New Hampshire?
Yes.
Sergeant, in the early morning hours of March 1st, 2024, did you receive some information related to an Amber Alert request?
I did.
Could you tell us what that was?
So the State Police Major Crime was responding already up to the Berlin Police Department for a death investigation. The lead investigator, Sergeant Mallory Littman, telephoned me. So she was the actual. She was not on. She was also on call to be the responding detective for the homicide, suspected homicide. But she was also at the time the on-call Amber Alert coordinator for that. So she asked my assistance in taking that piece from her so she could focus on the initial investigation.
What information did you receive about the situation happening in Berlin?
So I was informed that the Berlin Police Department had received some information of that there might have been a shooting victim in their city. They responded, found a deceased female alone in a residence. I was informed that the 2 children and a boyfriend were not accounted for, and the boyfriend's vehicle was unaccounted for.
Were you told the name of the boyfriend?
Yes.
What was the name?
Dustin Duren.
Did you receive any information about the vehicle associated with Dustin Duren?
I did.
What information was that?
I received the plate number and the make and model of the vehicle.
What were those?
It was I believe, a 2017 Subaru Impreza color white. It had New Hampshire veteran plates, V as in Victor 69023.
After receiving that information about the situation and about the defendant, Mr. Duren and his vehicle, did you also receive some information relating to the two children, including their names?
Yes, I did.
Were those Elowen and Valen?
Correct.
After receiving all that information, did you authorize the Amber Alert?
I did.
And about what time did you authorize that Amber Alert?
It was broadcasted, I believe, at 3:46 a.m.
Was that 3:46 a.m. on March 1st, 2024?
Yes.
Did that Amber Alert go out via text message as well as those other means that you've mentioned?
I believe so, yes.
And what did that Amber Alert contain? What information?
So it had the Mr. Duren's information, his vehicle information. It had the information of the two children, their ages. We had photographs of Mr. Duren, the two children that were attached with that as well.
Thank you. I have no more questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Can Detective Sergeant Rowe be excused?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would call Ms. Carolyn Campbell.
That was quick. Waiting for a witness here. Here she comes.
You can walk right over to this witness stand here. Please be careful of all the wires. You step around to the back and just remain standing by that chair, okay? Absolutely.
By all these wires, is that what you said?
Ms. Campbell, could you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear today that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth under pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. You may be seated. Ms. Campbell, you're all situated. There's some water there and a pitcher next to you if you do decide that you need some.
Okay.
If you can just make sure, I'm going to do the same, that microphone is a little bit closer to you so that it can be picked up. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Now, Ms. Campbell, could you please state your name for the record? I know I've said it, but we need to have you go ahead and say it. And if you could spell your last name.
Carolyn Campbell, C-A-M-P-B-E-L-L.
Thank you. Ms. Campbell, are you currently employed?
Yes, I am.
In what capacity are you employed?
I work at a fire department as an administrative assistant.
Okay. Now, I want to draw your attention to a specific date and time. So I want to ask you, on March the 1st of 2024, so last year, March, on that date, did you become aware of an Amber Alert?
Yes, I got woken up to it in the morning.
How'd you get woken up?
My phone just started making noises I have never heard, and I saw it. I did go back to sleep for a little bit.
Okay. Did you have plans for March the 1st of 2024?
Yes, I did. I was going to meet my daughter down in Keene to take a trip up to Vermont to a previous job of hers to drop stuff off.
Okay. Now, you, at the time, were you living near Keene?
About 50 minutes away.
Okay. So at some point that morning, you left your home and you traveled to see your daughter?
Yes.
And was she living in Keene?
Yes.
Okay. And it's going to sound like a really silly question, but you drove yourself from your home to your daughter's home?
Correct.
Okay. Once you got to your daughter's house, can you tell us what happened?
Well, actually, all the ways there first, I was looking for a vehicle that they had announced on the Amber Alert. So all the ways there, I was looking. And when I got to her house, that was the first thing she said to me, "Did you get an Amber Alert?" And I said, "I did."
What vehicle did you spend that 50-minute drive from your home to her home looking for?
It was a white vehicle with a license plate of V as in Victor 69023.
Okay, that's a license plate you remember to this day.
She remembers.
To this day.
How is it that you remember that number?
I was a dispatcher for the sheriff's department out in Las Vegas.
Ah, yeah.
So the number stuck with you.
Yeah, because I looked for it. I couldn't tell a Subaru from a GMC, but I can tell you a license plate. And all the ways there, I looked for that license plate.
Anything specific about that license plate besides the number that stood out to you?
The V for Victor, which is a veteran's plate, so I remembered it was a veteran's plate.
So while you were driving from your home to your daughter's home in Keene, did you see that vehicle at all?
No, I did not.
Once you arrived at your daughter's home and you had this conversation with her about, did you get the Amber Alert too? What, if anything, did the two of you do?
We got in her car to leave to go to Vermont.
And who was driving?
She was driving.
Okay. And do you remember, I don't know if you know the roads or the streets that you took, but do you remember how it is that you started to head to Vermont?
I really don't know the streets.
Okay.
Sorry.
Not a problem at all. Your daughter was driving?
Correct.
Where were you seated in the car?
I was in the front passenger seat.
Okay. Now, did there come a time while you were driving and you were headed to what town in Vermont?
Brattleboro. She had just left a nursing home job, and she wanted to bring some stuff to people that were still there, blankets and stuff and candy.
So that morning, while you and your daughter are heading from Keene to Brattleboro, Vermont, did something unusual happen?
Yes, we actually had, the way I know, we were heading there and we got to Chesterfield, and there's like I call them circles, rotary, and we went around the rotary, and as we went around the rotary, we were discussing the car and the license plate, and we proceeded up a hill. And when we're going up the hill, my daughter says, "Here comes a white Subaru." And I'm like, "How do you know?" You know,
Call them
it's
a
Subaru.
roundabout.
It's all her husband drives, is Subarus. And she goes, "Ooh, 6'9". Oh, no, there's a V. And I said, "No, it's V. It's for veteran, Victor, 69023. I said, "That's it. That's the car." And I told her to turn around real quick.
Okay, so you're heading from Keene towards Vermont.
Towards Vermont.
The Vermont border, or Chesterfield is where you
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
Are you already in Vermont at that point, or are you still?
No, we were still in New Hampshire.
At that point, when your daughter said that she saw the car, did you see the car?
I did see the car. I saw a white car. I couldn't tell you what it was, but we were both like looking for the license plate, and that's where she and I, she's like, "Oh no, there's a V." I said, "Yes, veteran V."
And that vehicle, which direction was that coming from? Was it traveling in the same direction as you, or from a different one?
No, it was headed towards Keene,
Okay.
and we turned around on the very next road to follow it.
Tell us about that. What happened when you tried to turn around to follow that car?
Well, she turned around and we were at the end of a road waiting to turn out there. And there were cars coming down, and there were two vehicles in back of the white car, and a big old truck was coming, and she's like, "There's a truck coming." I said, "I don't care. Step on it. Go. It's fast. Go." And we did. We followed. We were 2 car lengths behind. Actually, we were the third. I'm sorry. But when we got to the circle and headed out, there were 2 lanes, so she got in the left lane so she could get in back of him, and she pulled back over into the right-hand lane. And I had called 911 just as we had turned and were heading down the hill.
Okay, so at the time that you were getting ready to pull out in front of that truck, you were already calling 911.
Correct.
On the phone with them.
Correct, I was.
And you and your daughter driving, so when I say you, I don't imply that you're driving, but
Right.
your vehicle was following this white car from a couple of lengths behind.
Correct.
Okay, at that point when you were 3 cars, or the third car back, could you read the license plate to confirm it?
No, I couldn't. The dispatcher was asking me, "Can you see the license plate?" And I said, "No, not right now. We're getting as close as we can." And then finally we gotten back, and I was able to tell the license plate number. And a matter of fact, I even told them, they asked me if I was sure or something to that effect, and I said, "Well, I can tell you it's registered for the month of March. It has a number 3 sticker on it." And that's when they confirmed it.
Now,
They didn't believe her?
while you were behind that vehicle, once you got right behind him at the vehicle at the traffic circle,
Yeah.
could you tell anything about who was inside of that car?
I could see a gentleman driving, and he had a baseball cap on. I didn't see anything else other than that, and he was looking in the mirror, so I kind of put my phone down on my lap and put it on speaker because I didn't want him to know I was on the phone.
Okay, you could tell that the person was looking in their rear view mirror.
Yeah, they were looking rear view and side mirror.
Now, can you describe for us, like you're on the phone with 911. What are you telling 911 as you're behind this vehicle?
Just, they kept asking me where we were at, and I was giving them the best directions I could because I don't know the town of Keene, so my daughter was yelling things at me, you know, we're here. And then I knew we get up to the lights where the state police barracks were, so I told them we were at the state police barracks. And then we get to the next light, and I told them we were proceeding towards the next circle, oval, whatever rotary.
Okay, a rotary, a traffic circle.
Yeah.
Those devices that don't necessarily work to control traffic.
Correct.
Okay. Now, as you were driving, you indicated the white Subaru drove right past the state police barracks?
Yes, it drove to the entrance of the state police barracks.
Okay. Did there come a time that while you were following that vehicle, the vehicle and you said, first of all, you dropped your phone down into your lap?
Yes, because I told the dispatcher, I said, I think he sees me on the phone. I'm afraid he...
Objection, hearsay, out of court statement. Static ensuing. We're going to add another one to the counter. What the witness started to say was, I told the dispatcher, I think she said officer, I think he sees me on the phone. So she dropped her phone to her lap so that it wouldn't look like she was on the phone talking about what was going on in front of her. The reason why defense is objecting here is because it can make the defendant look like he's not in the process of turning himself in, that he's not actually headed to face the music and to tell his story. If it looks like he's trying to flee and hide from people who are searching for him, when he probably got the Amber Alert as well. So we'll see if the judge allows this in here. It's funny how close the witness sits to the defendant in this trial. It's like they're the closest two people. She is the new Angela Lansbury. We in the USA hate roundabouts. I don't hate them. I like them.
Jury, there's an objection relative to hearsay, which I'm sustaining, and I'm instructing you to just disregard the last component of the witness's testimony relative to a hearsay statement.
Out of court statement is hearsay.
Ms. Campbell.
Even if it was herself.
As you're testifying here today, right, we understand that you know what you told people, okay? But there is essentially a request that you not say what you told the dispatcher, just what you observed, okay?
So I observed, got you, okay?
Gotcha.
So
what you observed and what you were doing at the time that you were observing things, okay?
Okay.
And though we understand that you were, is it fair to say that while all of these things were occurring, whatever you saw, whatever was happening, you were relaying that information to the 911 operator?
Correct.
Okay. And you were doing that so that they would know where you were, what was happening, and your concerns about what you were doing, which was following a vehicle that was subject to an Amber Alert.
Correct.
Okay. Now, Ms. Campbell, was there a time while you were following that vehicle that it came to a stop?
Inside the convenient MD, it came to a stop.
Okay, can you describe for us how that happened?
Like how we got there?
Yeah, how'd you get there?
We went down, I don't know the
okay if you don't
direction.
know street names.
Yeah, we went around the first rotary and I explained that which direction we were headed towards McDonald's. And then there was another rotary and another rotary. And when we got to the last one, we went around it and the blinker was on to turn into McDonald's.
The blinker was on the Subaru that you were
On the
following?
Subaru.
Okay.
So we were ready to turn into McDonald's, and at that point, my daughter said, "Here comes a police officer," and they were coming in the same.
Did you see a police officer come?
Yes, there were police officers
Again,
coming
you
from
can't
every
testify.
direction.
Right, you've got to be careful about what you saw versus what other people saw or said.
Okay.
Okay. So did you see a police officer coming from the other direction?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And then, so the directional, the blinker directional was on the Subaru, like they were going to turn to McDonald's?
McDonald's,
Okay.
but
And then a police officer came in towards you.
correct.
So what happened with respect to the white Subaru? Did they turn into McDonald's?
No, they kept going and they turned into the convenient MD. And when they turned in, it heads down towards an Applebee's. And the car stopped right there.
Right there being where? At the
At-
convenient MD or at the Applebee's?
It's at the end of the convenient MD parking lot going into Applebee's. And they stayed there. So we stopped and I saw the gentleman looking in the mirror. And I told my daughter, I said, if this person gets out.
It's okay. What were you, so you had some concerns because you saw the person looking in the mirror?
Correct.
Okay.
And the
Once you-
Amber Alert said, oh gosh,
Approach, please.
sorry.
Okay. This witness thinks she's screwing up. She's doing great. She's doing great. It's just there's a battle being fought over the words she's saying. She's doing fine. I hope somebody lets her know that it's not her, it's them. The witness's own words aren't hearsay. By strict definition, any out-of-court statement would be hearsay. And the judge has not allowed a previous out-of-court statement she made in. But we'll see. It's not easy to testify, especially about this. I mean, this story. I mean, this is ingrained on her brain. She remembers to this day the license plate number of the car and the events. And she's on the phone with the police, and she's right behind the guy, and there could be 2 kidnapped kids in the car. And this is a high stress moment, and she's trying to recount the story as it happened. And guess what? Some parts of the story are not suitable for court. What the dispatcher told you, what happened, even though you know what happened after the fact, but you didn't observe it personally. She's doing great, though. She's doing great. She seems to be enjoying herself. All she wanted to do was help. Now she's going to crap. But the thing is, it's not going to be a problem. It's not like she's ruining the case here, right? She's going to do her best to follow the instructions. If she struggles, the lawyers will ask permission to lead the witness through, and they'll get some yes/no questions. The judge will probably grant that. Let's see how it goes here.
Hearsay objection sustained, but subject to rephrasing.
She doesn't know what that means.
Ms. Campbell, after the car came to a stop, this white Subaru came to a stop at the Applebee's, or in the entrance to the Applebee's, you and your daughter inside of your vehicle stopped. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay, where did you stop?
Probably about 10 or 15 feet behind the car.
Okay. And while you were stopped, you testified that you observed the person looking in their mirrors.
Correct.
Okay. You waited inside of your vehicle at that point?
Yes.
Okay. While you were there waiting inside of your vehicle, did officers arrive on the scene?
No, because the car ended up pulling forward into Applebee's in parking.
Okay.
And-
Once that occurred, what happened with your car?
We proceeded into Applebee's parking lot as well and parked on the opposite side, kind of diagonal from that
Where you
vehicle.
could watch the vehicle?
Correct.
Okay. And your purpose for doing that, is it fair to say, is to make sure that if it left again, you were going to follow it again?
Correct.
Okay. Did the vehicle leave again?
No, it stayed in the parking spot.
And did officers arrive at that time?
A lot of officers arrived at that time, and we were basically blocked in.
All right. And so you were there the entire time that officers were on scene at the Applebee's?
Correct.
Okay. Court's indulgence?
Certainly.
The court allowed her to lead her own witness because it was getting difficult to get the appropriate testimony in, which was permissible. If only we had some indication of time passing while we sat here in silence.
Permission to approach. Ms. Campbell, I'm going to show you what is marked as for identification. As State's Exhibit 19A. I almost asked to borrow your glasses. As State's Exhibit 19A for this case. Can you take a look at that for me?
Yes,
Do you recognize that?
absolutely.
Okay, I know you haven't been shown this photo before. Is that fair to say?
No, never.
Okay, but what is depicted in this photograph?
The license plate that was on the Amber Alert and the white Subaru.
Is that the vehicle that you and your daughter followed that day?
Yes, and there's the number 3.
Oh, and you're pointing something out to me. So you're indicating the license plate number matches the number you've told us.
Right, and number 3 is the month that it was registered in.
Okay, so you can see the registration sticker on there as well that matches
Yes.
your recollection.
Correct.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
I don't think defense will have much for her, maybe a few.
Good morning, Ms. Campbell. I just have a few questions for you.
Okay.
You testified that you received the Amber Alert from your phone in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I don't know what time it went off.
Yeah, but it woke you up.
Correct.
Okay, and then you went back to sleep for a little bit. And you live in Bennington, New Hampshire, correct?
Correct.
And you had to drive later on that morning to meet your daughter in Keene, correct?
I had to meet her for 9 a.m.
Okay. And when you woke up, you remembered about this Amber Alert and it was on your mind, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you were aware of the license plate number they were looking for?
Correct.
In a white sedan?
White, yes, Subaru, I think they said her.
White car, yeah. So when you're driving from Bennington to Keene, are you're headed west, right? West toward the Vermont
Yes.
border? Okay. And when you are headed, you get to your daughter's who lives in Keene?
Correct.
Okay. You switch cars?
Yes, we
Okay.
switched cars.
So she's driving her car, you're a passenger.
Correct.
And you two head toward Brattleboro, Vermont, right?
Correct.
Which is continuing west away from Keene toward the state of Vermont, correct?
If you say it's west, sure.
Let me show you a map that might help. Defendants A2 for ID. Do you recognize what that is?
Yeah, that's the Applebee's there. We came from, how do you tell? I think the road we came from was actually down here.
Fair enough, but can you see Brattleboro, Vermont, or the border at least for Vermont, New Hampshire in that map?
Where's Brattleboro? Oh, over here, correct. Yes.
Okay. And so you were driving from Keene away from Concord, right? Away from Concord toward Vermont.
Away from Keene towards Vermont, yes.
Right.
That, to me, that would be north.
Okay.
I'm kind of confused.
You were headed toward Vermont.
Correct.
From Keene with your daughter driving.
Correct.
Okay. And the white car with the veteran plate that you observed was headed from Vermont into Keene, correct?
Correct.
And so you don't know where it had been, but it was driving in the direction of Keene from Vermont, from the border of Vermont.
Correct.
Okay. And when you observed this car traveling, you started to follow it, right? Your daughter did.
Yes, we turned around.
And you observed that it was driving with the flow of traffic, right?
Correct.
Okay, normal speed.
Correct.
Nothing erratic or concerning.
No.
And you went through some rotaries, roundabouts, traffic circles, and at one point the driver put his blinker on to turn into McDonald's, right?
That's where I thought he was turning into. That's where the blinker came on, was just before McDonald's.
And McDonald's is just a few, I don't know, a mile or so up from Applebee's?
Oh, not even a mile.
Not even a mile. Okay.
Couple buildings.
Couple buildings. Okay, thank you. So, but it didn't turn into McDonald's. It kept going. And you said it went to the MD convenience, correct?
Yes.
Or convenience
MD, yes.
Which is sharing a parking plaza with Applebee's?
No, it's not sharing one. It has its own parking lot, but you can get from that parking lot to Applebee's.
Okay, thank you. So it's the car you observed stopped in the parking lot for Convenient MD?
Yes.
For like what, less than a minute?
I'd say about a minute.
Oh, okay. And you were just sort of, you and your daughter lingering behind in your own car?
Yes.
With 911 the whole time?
I was on with 911 the whole time until the police showed up.
And then after a minute, it drove down into Applebee's parking lot, you said?
Correct, to the left.
To the left, and parked in a parking spot, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then you went also into the Applebee's parking lot?
But to the right and parked.
Parked, observed the scene.
Correct.
And then how long after that did the police show up and block you in?
They were there within seconds.
Okay.
I mean, I think, oh, never mind.
Okay. So, and then there was a lot of police activity, right?
A lot.
Yeah. The driver of that white vehicle did not try to flee, correct?
No, he did not.
Just see if I can update it. I don't have anything further, thank you.
Okay.
No, Your Honor.
No redirect? Okay. Can Ms. Campbell be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Yep.
And surprise, surprise, we have another approach. Takes us up to 18. That was a great witness. I love a good casual witness like that, who has some great experience in law enforcement. He's just doing the right thing. Saw the car, saw the license plate, followed it, and kept the police on the phone to give them the updates where they were, so they could make the stop. Does anybody understand what the point of that cross was? I missed it a little bit, like the point, like the details of where, who turned where, what. Of course, defense is trying to say that he, needed to get food for himself and his daughters, right? That's what he was doing, and then he was going to turn himself in. They stopped 3 witnesses yesterday and 3 today, so this is going to be 3 witnesses a day trial. No, we're going to have a full day today, but we're probably going to have a break here soon. 45 minutes for lunch or so. Can we not hear this? Oh, The jury is being let out. Everyone's standing for the jury. Audio guy has one job on this ship. Volume up, volume down. Volume up, volume down. That's it. The lady's wearing a crown of hair. Do you see that? Looks like a little tiara of hair. Greeners.
Whichever is more convenient. Not now, but either before or after, depending upon the circumstances at the time, just so that we have a ability to plan and understand what the next steps will be. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be back at 11:20. Thank you.
All right. We get an 8-minute break. Wish we knew why, but the audio guy felt that it was not necessary for us to know this detail. So 8 minutes and we'll be back. It's all good. It's all good. Love the blonde lady's hair. Very pretty. How do you do that? How do you make... I'm asking because I have a daughter. Maybe I should do that. My grandmother would call that Elsa hair. I do my daughter's hair like that. Is it easy? First of all, is it functional or is it just cosmetic? Is it like, does it keep the hair out of your eyes if you have long hair, or does it keep it cool up off your neck and off your ears? It's a super easy hairstyle. Can you do it to oneself? Like, can you braid one's own hair like that? That way, if she can learn it, then I don't have to do it for her. After these messages, we'll be right back. Grandpa R.A. needs to learn to do hair. I do. Both. Let's see. If you give your daughter Elsa hair, please live stream your struggle. What a dude question. I'm just asking, JT. Make a low ponytail, then twist it over and over to make the knot. I know what a ponytail is. I don't know how I would distinguish a low ponytail from any other ponytail. Are we talking about the same thing? About the crown of hair that goes around? Is that what you guys were looking at? Probably could have done it to my goatee had I not shaved it off. Did they just have a 10-minute break? Yes, and now they got another. That's just a rope braid, super easy. You say that, but try describing it as you would to a child. Ari would look great in that hairstyle. Possibly, but I can only French braid. Is that like French bread? Got a call coming in. Hang on.
Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde, hairstylist extraordinaire. What do you have for us today? Please tell me.
That is actually why I'm calling today about the hair. Okay, so here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
That hair cannot be done on everyone. It depends on the cut that they have and the density of their hair. Because if she has really fine hair, you're just going to have an itty-bitty tiny little crown, and it's going to look weird.
So you need a lot of
But if she
dense
has-
hair.
Yes. So what's the character? I missed it.
What do you mean?
Like, why is she doing this?
I don't know.
To her hair?
There's just somebody in the courtroom there that walked in, and she was wearing like a crown of hair. She has like her normal hair, and then she also has this little crown of hair. And I thought, well, how does that happen? That's all.
I would be willing to bet those are extensions that she braided into her own hair and then wrapped it around. That's my guess.
That's got to be cheating.
Well, I mean, if you don't have thick hair and that's the look you're going for, why not?
Okay, well, I'm going to watch for it. I'm going to zoom in close and see if I can see if it's extensions.
People pad things all the time, don't they?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I mean, I once caught a fish this big. It's like that, right?
Banana for scale.
Yes. Legally Blonde, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
How's
All right,
how's your court
Bye.
watch this morning?
Oh my gosh. Well, after I sat there in the empty courtroom for a long time, twiddling my thumbs, someone finally took pity on me and was like, what are you waiting for? And then they instructed me that pretrial hearings are usually held in the judge's chambers. And then I waited around and got some information about. Sometimes they are. They said if they're putting something on the record, then it's public. But they said you don't. I'm like, is there a way for me to tell on the website? And no. So I figure I'm just going to have to call from now on.
Just ask the judge. He'll probably let you come in. Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't do that.
I mean, yeah, he likes
Knock
me
on the
so
door.
much. Please,
Look,
come sit in my chambers.
I've been back there a couple times. I know the way. You don't have to show me like that. So, well.
I told you they have all those little secret hallways back there.
It's like a maze, a labyrinth.
It is.
Probably for security
really
purposes.
Is. And they have one, well, I'm sure. And, I mean, the judge has to have an office. It's not going to be right out there in the glass in the front where everybody can just go knock on his window, I don't think. But they did say that they're having him tested for competency evaluation.
Ooh. Yeah, that can quickly derail a trial.
And they set it out for 45 days.
Okay. So we've got some time.
So, yeah.
Around Thanksgiving.
Anyway, but I got to see him on the way in, and he looked tired in his wheelchair.
I can imagine. Interesting. It's
So I don't know if they know, if chat knows. Yeah, so he was a 77-year-old man who said his wife was sick. She wanted to go, and he blammied her in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And local media reports are saying that it happened in a car.
That's different.
Which is wild to me.
If it goes to trial,
was
obviously
he
we're
in
super
the
excited to
backseat?
have you be a court watcher and us be able to watch it in Warren County. So, Legally Blonde, thanks for making the long drive to sit and just ponder with your thoughts in the courtroom. Hopefully, by the time
I did get to meet the other judge that we haven't seen yet. He's in the big courtroom. He's in the Big Daddy courtroom.
Teep?
That was pretty interesting.
Judge Teep? Or
He seems like, no, Peeler.
Oh, the third one.
So Teep was the judge for Ogletree and Abney.
Right.
No, not Abney, Ogletree. And then Oda was the last one we were in. And then Peeler is the one who we don't have. I think he's like the Chief Justice over there.
Yeah, make friends with him. That's going to score points, I'm sure. But,
yes, I did, smile at him in his courtroom today. But he did not ask me what I was doing there.
No, that's because he knows you're a member of the public and you're allowed to be there. It's fine. Well, Legally Blonde, thank you very much for the update. Hopefully everything goes well there. And thanks for telling me about the hair. I'll pay close attention.
Happy braiding.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. It's all I can do right now to brush, but thank you. We'll see you.
Bye.
Love it. Legally Blonde, our court watcher. Going to be a court watcher for us again here soon. Pantoufle OG. Bummed I haven't had time to watch trial with you all lately. You bring me joy. This looks like an interesting case. Miss you. 29 months. Thank you, Pantoufle. You are truly an OG. All right. We should be coming back to court in just a moment. Give me just a moment for I don't know what the break was. Oh, we've got another call. Hang on. Did I push the wrong button? Come on. Come back. Did I just hang up on you? I hung up on somebody. I'm sorry. That was terrible of me. It's my fault. It was clearly me. Yep. No, cool. Keeps hair out of face. Not cool. Keeps hair out of face. Need to see the hair again. If your number ends in 52, call back. And you just called. Could be a hairpiece. I can French braid my own hair. Years of ballet. She has a crown braid. I think it's a twist, not a braid. Wouldn't twist just look like a Twizzler? Oh, wow. White balance is off. And we're back.
Call from Caitlyn Newell.
Caitlyn Newell, this is RA. We're just about to come back to court.
Hello.
What's happening?
I'll make it super quick. I'm piggybacking off of what Legally Blonde said. So I do hair. I do not do extensions. My boss does. So you can have sew-in wefts, which is what Legally Blonde was talking about. You can have clip-in extensions, which is just a barrette with fake hair, and you put them where you want. You can have...
It's her. She's on the screen right now.
They're...
Sorry, keep going.
Bye.
No, you're good. Okay, so there are lots of different ways to get there.
Okay. Yep. And then you can have tape-in extensions. So you lift them up, you put a row of like almost glued-in extensions, put in some of your own hair, and then they put another row of them in with glue, and then they lay more naturally. And then they have some that are like beads of glue, and you take some... not a bunch of hair, but like 3 or 4 strands of hair, and you almost melt them with this bead of glue, and you take it up to the scalp.
Hot glue to the head. This is probably not news to any of you. I could never be a woman. What you all
I
go
do
through.
hair, and I'm like,
this is crazy.
yeah, I'm the biggest dude at the salon. Like, yeah, nope. I'm right there with you.
All right.
So
thank you very much.
I get
Caitlyn.
it completely. That's all I needed.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. I'm learning all about this. This is wild. I didn't know you did so many things to your hair. Julianne, hi everyone. 17 months, Julianne, fastly approaching that 20-month mark where you become an official OG. You might have actually been here a bit longer. Fused extensions. We'd never be able to see those. Those would be hidden. Okay, let's see if the cameraman will give us a glimpse again. Let's see. Edith, I don't know what's going to be covered and what's going to be available on that one, on your text. Not sure, or on your voicemail. It's very difficult to plan that far out. Why is the dude smiling? I don't know. He seems happy about something, about the way things are going, maybe. Cameraman's like, nah, you get the ponytail. I understand ponytail. This is my level of hairstyling ability, is ponytail. I think I could do that. Yeah, there's the barrette. There's just a perm. I can see all these, and right there underneath me. Look where I am. Like right here. Right there. This. That's it. That can't just be a twist. Look how it's like... Is that a rubber band on the bottom? She's going to stand up. We're going to get to see this. There it is. It's a tiara. If it's extensions, it matches perfectly. Looks like a twist. That's a twist and a flip. Huh. Okay, maybe I could do a twist. Beth Tyson, yay. But I've been here every day since Cavalcante. I love you, all right. I think that makes you an OJ. Oh, excuse me. OG. I was saying OJ because you said yay there. I get confused that way. Beth, welcome. Welcome. Love it. 12 months. Congratulations on the new color of courthouse. I have to admit, when I was in junior high, the girls that caught my eye were the ones that wore the ponytail out the back of the baseball cap. I'm not sure why that was the thing for me, but that was it.
This thing calls Joel for less.
Beyonce wrote "If I Were a Boy" because it's easier.
Sir, remain standing and raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth under the pain and penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. Please take a seat.
He seems pretty laid back.
Sir, could you please tell us your name and spell your last name for the record?
Yes, Joel Velez, V-E-L-E-Z.
Sir, where do you work?
I work for the Keene Police Department,
How long have you worked there?
just under 6 years.
Did you attend and graduate from the New Hampshire Police Academy?
I did,
What year?
2020.
What's your current role or rank with the Keene Police?
Patrol Division.
And just generally, what does that mean for you as a patrolman? What are your duties?
Respond to calls for service, protect life and property.
Only in New Hampshire, I think, we heard this.
Officer Velez, on March 1st of 2024, were you scheduled to be on duty that day?
I was.
What shift were you working that day?
Day shift, 0645 to 1645.
So 6:45 in the morning to 4:45 in the afternoon?
That is correct, sir.
Before your shift, were you woken up by something in the morning?
I was.
What woke you up?
An Amber Alert that had gone statewide, I believe.
When you responded to, or when you went to the police station for work that day, did you receive some further information related to that Amber Alert?
We did. The whole shift did.
What information did you receive?
That the previous Amber Alert that had gone out had last pinged in Concord. The driver, registered owner of the car, Dustin Duren, was identified to us, was believed to be driving a white Subaru Impreza, New Hampshire veteran registration, V69023, was in the company of his 2 young children, and was believed to be armed with at least 1 handgun.
Did the Keene Police subsequently receive some additional information related to that vehicle?
We did.
And what information was that?
At about 10 a.m., our dispatch fielded a call that someone believed they were traveling behind the car from the Amber Alert.
As a result of that call coming into dispatch, what did you do?
I immediately left the station.
Where did you go?
I was tasked by my sergeant to travel westbound on Route 101 towards Winchester Street.
And what was your purpose in traveling in that direction?
To intercept the vehicle.
That day, what were you wearing in terms of a uniform?
I was wearing a fully marked Keene Police Patrol uniform.
With a badge clearly visible?
Yes.
And what kind of car were you driving that day?
A fully marked Keene Police Patrol vehicle.
Did you get into your cruiser, your patrol vehicle, and start driving in that direction?
I did. I responded with a code 3, lights and sirens.
So lights and sirens activated. Was it just you in the car, or were there any other officers there?
I was the only one in that car.
Officer, I'm handing you what's marked for ID as States Exhibit 14. Can you take a look at this?
It's a map of Keene.
What section of Keene does this show?
So it shows Route 101, which runs east and west, Route 10, north and south, as well as the Winchester Street Key Road Rotary.
And there are a couple of notations here. There's a notation for an Applebee's and for a convenient MD. Do you see those?
Yes, I do.
Are those accurate with regard to where those businesses are in Keene?
Yes, they are.
And is this picture a fair and accurate representation of this section of the city of Keene, New Hampshire?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, at this time the state moves to strike the ID and introduce Exhibit 14.
The ID may be stricken with respect to Exhibit 14, and it shall be considered a full exhibit.
So, Officer, you should see it on the screen there. I'm going to ask you to actually come down and step down from the witness stand.
Sure.
If you would. We have the map a little bit bigger here for the jury. If you could just stand up there, and we're going to, if you wait for the microphone coming to record your testimony. If you stand off to the side so the jury can see. And please just make sure you speak into the microphone. Officer, what do you see here?
It's a map of Keene.
Okay, what part of Keene?
Route 101 runs east and west.
That is quite the rotary.
Route 10.
2 of them.
North and south. Where's the police station in relation to what you see here?
It's a bit further eastbound, up Route 101 here.
And you see, can you point out for the jury the convenient MD?
Right.
And the Applebee's?
Right.
And can you point out for them the parking lot situation with those two areas? And are they connected at all?
They are. You can access here off of Winchester Street. You can access here off of Winchester Street. And then it's a shared parking lot for both. This little slip lane here.
Why in the world would Applebee's and McDonald's join their parking lots like
there are
that?
a couple of rotaries or traffic circles on this map, just for the record, and ask you about the larger one towards the bottom of the picture. What roads feed into that rotary?
The larger one here, Winchester Street, Route 101, east and west, and Route 10, south.
So it's fair to say that the road going south out of that traffic circle is Route 10, but the road going north is Winchester Street?
That's correct.
And is it 101 east and west on both sides?
That's correct.
If you were to travel west on Route 101, would that take you in the direction of Vermont?
It would.
And then, as you said, if you travel east on 101, that's further into the city of Keene towards the police department?
Correct.
I'm going to ask you a couple more questions about this. Is there a McDonald's somewhere
Yes, there is.
in the area? Can you point out where it is?
Sure. It's just north of the Key Road, Winchester Street Rotary, situated about here.
So you mentioned Key Road. Could you point that out with your finger for the jury?
Yep. This is Key Road, and it runs back into a shopping plaza.
So, officer, if there were a car traveling north from that larger traffic circle on Winchester Street towards the second traffic circle, the smaller one, could that car turn left into the convenient MD or Applebee's parking lot?
No.
Why not?
The median here separates the north and southbound travel. They would have to navigate the rotary and come back around.
So basically have to go up, flip around, come back, and turn right into McDonald's.
101 and 10 would need to go up and around the second traffic circle to get back down to the Applebee's parking lot?
That's correct.
And then just to be clear, convenient MD and Applebee's both have parking lots, but it is possible to drive from one to the other without obstruction?
That is correct.
You can safely return back to the stand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. I think I've been to that one.
Officer, you told us that you were at the police station, then you began driving. What route did you take to get to, well, I'll ask you this. Did you go to this area that we see on the map?
I did.
And did you go there directly?
I did.
What road did you take to get there?
Route 101 westbound.
Okay. So, as you traveled on Route 101 westbound, did you eventually get to the area of the traffic circle with 101 and 10?
Yes.
And as you were driving, did you receive further information from dispatch about the location of that vehicle?
Yes, I did.
And what did that information tell you?
The initial reporting party had watched the car exit and begin northbound travel on Winchester Street towards the McDonald's.
And so when you received that update, was that while you were already in your cruiser?
Yes, it was.
And you were en route, so to speak?
I was.
About how long did it take you to get from the police station to the area that we see here?
It couldn't have been more than, it was under a minute.
Could you tell us what happened when you got to this area? What did you see or do?
So as I approached the rotary in the slip lane for Winchester Street, and we got that information, I saw what looked to be a white Subaru Impreza begin traveling northbound. So rather than continue westbound, I started traveling northbound on Winchester Street as well.
You mentioned you saw a white vehicle, and at that point, did you know if it was the particular vehicle you were looking for?
I did not know at that time.
Where was this white vehicle that you saw? What direction was it traveling?
Northbound on Winchester Street toward the second rotary, Key Road, McDonald's.
Could you tell if it was coming from the eastbound, or was it traveling, or was it coming towards you from the west, or was it traveling in the same direction as you when it went north?
No, it was traveling from the west
Okay, so coming in the opposite direction.
That's correct.
It's
So
camo
you
furniture
saw
for
a
the
white
deer
vehicle,
stand.
what did you do next?
As I continued driving northbound, I maintained a visual on the vehicle. I watched it navigate the rotary. I sped up, accelerated. I navigated the rotary and was able to get behind it, just maybe a couple cars lengths.
When you say you saw it navigate the rotary, which rotary are you referring to?
Winchester Street, Key Road.
Okay. So you've told us that you're not behind that vehicle. What happened next?
I could see the taillights as well as the rear license plate affixed to the car.
And did that, what was the license plate that you saw?
It's New Hampshire Veteran V69023.
What did you do next?
I followed it, preparing to make a motor vehicle stop, but it turned into the convenient MD Applebee's parking area.
Did you follow it?
I did.
What did that car do once it turned off the road into the parking lot area?
It came to a stop in one of the designated parking spaces.
What did you do?
I told dispatch where we were, and I read the license plate twice, I believe, and dispatch confirmed that that was the vehicle from the Amber Alert.
Why did you do that?
One, to confirm who I was likely going to take my gun out and point it at. And I had written it on my hand in the morning in roll call, but I had sweated it off.
Okay. So you wanted to confirm that
Yes.
that was the right one? After you received that confirmation, what did you do?
Exited my cruiser as quickly as I could and raised my gun until it was level with the driver's side window.
Officer Velez, why did you take your gun out when you got out of your car?
The information that we received was that the driver, owner, operator, Dustin Duren, was believed to be armed with at least one handgun, and that he may have been involved in a shooting that morning.
So was that for your safety?
And anyone that was around. It's a fairly busy shopping plaza.
When you took your gun out and stepped out of your car, what was that vehicle doing?
It was parked.
Could you see anyone in the vehicle?
I could see the driver at the time clearly.
What happened next?
I began to give commands. I yelled out to the driver, hands, let me see your hands. Couldn't have been more than a couple of moments later, I was joined by some other officers.
So I want to set the scene. You are standing next to your cruiser?
I was.
And you had the door open?
I did.
Were you standing behind the door?
I was.
Why were you doing that?
To just give myself some sort of cover in case the suspect or the driver engaged me in a gunfight.
About how far away were you from that white vehicle?
I would say 2 car lengths.
Any obstructions between you and that car?
None.
When you began giving commands, what did the person in the car do?
He was compliant. He put his hands on the steering wheel so I could see both of them. And that was the last command I gave. They were taken over by another officer.
So other officers joined you?
Yes.
What were their names?
Officer Kyle Macy, Officer Nicholas Panel, and Sergeant Mark Cotton.
Did one of those officers take over giving commands to the individual in the car?
Yes, Officer Macy.
Did the individual in the car comply with those commands?
He did.
What did the individual in the car do as a result of those commands?
He exited the car, remained compliant. He walked backwards towards the sounds of our voices. He was placed up. He was put onto his knees and then taken into custody, secured into handcuffs.
From the time that that person came out of the car and the time that he was placed into handcuffs, did he say anything?
He did.
What did he say?
Initially, he said, "My kids are in the car," something to that effect.
Did he say anything else?
He did.
What did he say?
He said, "There's a pistol in the door."
Did you get close enough to that individual to observe him?
Yes, I did.
Do you see the person who came out of that car, who was driving that white car here in the courtroom today?
Yes, I do.
Could you please point him out and identify him by describing an article of clothing that he's wearing?
Sure. That would be the gentleman seated here with the glasses on.
Your Honor, may the record please reflect that the witness has identified the defendant?
The record shall so reflect.
So, to be clear, the defendant is the person who was taken out of that car and arrested?
Yes, he is.
After the defendant was taken out of that car and placed under arrest, did you have any further interaction with him?
I did.
What did you do?
I ultimately served as a transport car to bring him to the state police barracks.
Before that, after he came out of the car and when he was placed into handcuffs, what did you do?
I approached the car. I was instructed by my sergeant to collect the 2 young children that were in the back seat with Officer Panel.
At what point did you notice that there were children in the back seat?
Prior to the defendant being secured into handcuffs, one of the, I believe it was the infant, poked her head up.
Did you approach the car?
I did.
And which door did you go to?
The driver's side rear.
Okay. And when you got there, what did you see?
The infant was in the back, and she was just kind of lying in the car seat. She wasn't strapped in or anything like that. She was wearing a diaper. It was overflowing with feces, and her the older sibling.
Your Honor, can we approach?
Okay, this description is not going well, but we do hit number 18 on the sidebar. The defense is objecting anytime anything comes in that makes the defendant look bad. And not being in a car seat and dirty diaper is definitely in that category. Too late. Can't unring that bell. Yeah. This might fly right in the face of the defense statement saying that he just wanted to spend more time with his children. Well, if you're just spending more time with your children, shouldn't you notice when they need a little care?
An infant, was there a second child?
Yes, there was.
And what was her condition when you saw her?
She was lying across the passenger side of the back seat, not buckled in. She looked terrified.
Officer, what did you do when you approached that car?
I opened the door. I asked Officer Panel to hand me a red flannel shirt so that I could wrap the infant up. And I took her to my cruiser, and I held her until EMS collected her from me.
I'm sorry, I think there's noise. You held there until?
EMS collected her from me.
Okay. Officer Felez, on the day that we're talking about during the events that we discussed, were you equipped with a body-worn camera?
Yes, I was.
Okay. What is a body-worn camera?
Oh, my.
Its purpose is to capture any incident that we respond to as patrol officers during the course of our shift.
Is it standard for you to wear that when you're on patrol?
It's policy.
Where is the body camera located on your person?
Essentially in the center of our uniform shirt.
So you're indicating in your hands kind of the center of your chest?
That's correct.
And when does that body camera turn on?
There's a couple different ways to activate it. We wear looks like a watch. It's a remote. We can activate it. Any rapid movement running will activate it. Our emergency blue lights will activate it.
Referring to March 1st of 2024, you said you were wearing a body camera.
I was.
Okay. Did that body camera activate at some point?
It did.
Why did it activate?
I started running out the door when dispatch advised of the caller behind the car.
And I'm going to back up real quick. You mentioned that you wrapped that infant in a red flannel shirt. Where did that red flannel shirt come from?
It was in the car.
Officer Velez, I'm showing you what's marked for ID. The State's Exhibit 15.
Yes.
You recognize this?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
That is the recording captured on my body-worn camera.
So it's a CD, correct?
Yes.
And you reviewed the contents of this CD?
I have.
What is on this CD?
My body camera footage from the day in question.
Okay. And is this, strike that. Your Honor, at this point, we've moved to introduce as a full exhibit, State's 15.
No objection.
The ID may be stricken with respect to Exhibit 15, and it shall be considered a full exhibit.
Now, officer, your body cam ran for quite some time this day, correct?
It did.
And that only captures a portion of the day that you were active. Is that correct?
Correct.
And is it fair to say that this video on that CD ends right as you collect that infant from that car?
It does.
And before you play it, Officer Glass, does the body cam that you wear record volume?
It does after 30 seconds passes.
So when we start this video, will we hear audio right away?
No.
Why not?
You have to wait for the 30-second mark to elapse.
Okay, so the audio will come in after about 30 seconds?
Yes, it will.
There's a lot of gaff tape holding that monitor on the back of the TV. I just noticed that. That's terrible. It's literally just taped to the back of the TV. The offending clock is on the wall. You can just barely make out the shape.
When this video begins, where are you?
In my sergeant's office.
Okay, and is that at the Keene Police Station?
Yes, it is.
And then, just very briefly, when it starts, do you begin moving towards your cruiser?
I do.
Do you make a comment with a profanity in it?
I do.
And what is that comment?
I spilled my hot coffee on my hand, so it's something to the effect of, fuck, that's hot.
Okay.
All right, we'll just put this up here for now. I'll adjust the audio as needed.
For the record, we're now playing State's Exhibit 15.
These officers captured in a natural environment in the station. Ooh, call comes in, boom.
Well, I screwed up, but I was just going to pause it there briefly. Officer, you saw a couple of other officers that quickly began running. What happened there?
Dispatch had just told us that the caller was on the line behind the car.
I'm not going to mess with it anymore.
Utility brand. The lesser known body cam. Here's the offending coffee cup. And the offending jostle. Buckle up, kids. They're coming right from the police station, so this is a short little trip. It's gone down, navigated the roundabouts, turning into McDonald's. Going through McDonald's. Oh, that was the roundabout. Never mind. Turning left here. Or maybe he's coming from the other side. To right. I can't picture where he is on the map. There's McDonald's. There's Applebee's. Driving around the parking lot here.
P69023. P69023. One stop at Applebee's. P69023. Confirm that complete.
Victor, 69023.
That's it. Goes felony stop.
Open the door with one hand. Put both hands on the wheel right now. Do not move, you understand me? Don't you fucking move! Alright, hold on, I understand. Get behind the door. Let's, yeah, right here. Hey, pay attention to us. Put your hands on the car. Now get out. Turn away from us.
You can see the shadow, he's complying.
Turn away from us. Walk backwards. Yeah, walk backwards. Yeah, walk backwards. I got. Walk backwards. Down on your knees. Hands are off behind your head. Do not move. Yeah. We got red flannel and wrap her up.
Officer Velez, you mentioned that you kept or held on to that infant until she was taken by EMS.
That's correct.
Was the other child also eventually given to EMS?
She was.
I have no more questions.
Just a couple of Velez. When you pulled into the Applebee's, were you the first officer on scene?
I was.
Okay. And you confirmed that you were dealing with the correct subject of the Amber Alert, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And at that point when you pulled in, you could just see the driver in the car?
Correct.
You didn't see any kids at that point when you just pulled in?
Yes.
Okay. And you started yelling commands, and you told us on direct, and we saw in the video that the drivers complied.
That's correct.
Okay. And when the driver opened up the door, he did yell, "Kids in the car," correct?
When the driver did?
Yes.
Yes, he said something to that effect.
Okay. And then he also told you that there was a gun in the car as well.
Yes, ma'am.
And he actually said it's on the driver's side door.
He did.
Okay. And then we heard you on the body cam yelling, "Pay attention to us." Was that because the driver was looking back to the back seat?
So that was Officer Macy.
Oh, okay, thank
That's
you.
his voice.
Did you observe, though, the driver looking in the back at that point?
I don't recall, ma'am.
Okay. Was that your voice when you said kids in the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that was when the infant popped her head up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Nothing further, thank you.
Can you redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Can Officer Velez step in?
Thank you.
May be excused?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's crazy how fast the officer's response is going from at the point of nearly using lethal force, exhibiting lethal force.
Okay, members of the jury, we'll stop
child.
there for the lunch break for the day. We'll stop there and return at, try to reconvene at 1 o'clock. Again, as I said yesterday, if you do happen to run into anyone, please don't take offense if nobody speaks to you, and I instruct you to not speak to them as well. And again, please do not discuss the case amongst yourselves or with anyone else for that matter, and don't conduct any research or transmit anything about what you've seen or heard as part of the trial. Okay, we'll try to reconvene again at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Defendant looks a little different here than he did at the time of capture. Obviously, he had a longer beard and was wearing more scruffy clothes, I guess you could say. And now he's appearing in a suit, more trimmed beard. Obviously, no baseball cap in court, so a slightly different appearance there. But as the defense did point out, he did comply immediately with the police officers. That's a good check on the list.
Now, later, approach, bench, chambers. What would you like to do?
Whatever the court would like.
Let's go to chambers.
Why don't we
order pizza?
Do that up here, please. Thank you.
That takes us to number 20 on the approach. Let's see if they have anything to discuss. It is lunchtime. While they're doing that, I'm gonna build the afternoon's live stream and build the portal to get us over there. Let's see. Reuse settings from there. This is going to be day 2, part 2, starting. Usually the judge gives a 1 hour for lunch. That means they're going to be coming back at 1. We'll come back at 12:55. Just enough time. All right. New stream is up. Greeners is not first yet. Nobody's in there. He's slacking. Greeners is first now. There he goes. Greeners was first in the stream. It took a minute. I was wondering who it was going to be. All right. We'll build the portal and just wait to hear if there's anything that happens before we go to lunch. Any decisions? There's obviously some big decisions the judge has to rule on before this goes to the jury. The biggest one, I think, the crux of the case: can a parent kidnap their own child? Can a parent kidnap their own child? Let's see. Ladies was tall, yes. I prefer courtrooms that have a slightly elevated judge's bench, like a little more than this. This all seems to be almost at ground level. There's very little elevation. I like the judge to be able to look down on everybody. So not my favorite courtroom. I think Heavenly Wood courtroom. That's nice. That's a good setup. The non-custodial parent cannot. They both were custodial parents. They were joint. Yes, they can. It's most often what happens. Yeah, I would say most of your Amber Alerts involve a parent than a child. Oftentimes non-custodial parent, but If there's a custody order, then yes, they can. There was no custody order. It's called parental kidnapping. That desk looks too easy to jump over. You can nearly step over it. Well, he committed a crime and then ran, so I say yes. Katrina, I hear you. I see that one. But the question is, I guess in this case, the question is more so, would Katrina, the mom, be able to kidnap the children? Looks like we're done here. Judge standing up and going to lunch. All right, so we got one more look at the hair crown, or the twist and flip, as you guys have adequately told me. And that's it. All right. Let's see. Caitlyn, not Katrina. Why did I have... I think I spelled it wrong and everything. Caitlyn. I did spell Caitlyn wrong. I had Caitlyn in the description, but I spelled it with a K instead of a C. I would say no unless there was a great arrangement, and there wasn't, so I'm going with no. Well, that would be bad for the defense. That means there's not even a possibility of something bad happening that could have resulted in the children being kidnapped, if they could not be kidnapped, if that's not an option. Sounds like she was scared of him trying to get away with the kids in secret. In Germany, there can be one parent after divorce that has not the resident for the child, although parenting time. If this parent takes the child without parental permission, it can be kidnapped. Okay, I hear that. After divorce, for sure. I would say that's the easiest time to define when a kidnapping occurred, because there's a court-ordered arrangement of who has the children and when they can have them and where sometimes. Temperify is a very good pun. I didn't think of it, Redford. I wish I did. He didn't know the plan. Depends on the court order. If they're divorced, if it's her designated time for custody, no. If it's his, yes. Well, what about if there is no court order? What if we haven't got to that point yet? What if it's right at the separation point in the relationship? They have, in this case, they've got, they're both the parents. They sort of live together. There was a plan they had discussed, but it was a change of plans, I guess. Adam has our kids, says Greeners. Probably for the better, Greeners, wouldn't you admit? But you couldn't just take your kids from Mrs. R.A. and not come back. That's the thing. Where does it become a crime, right? Where does it become a crime? Or does it need to go to court first? I think either way, this defendant is in a world of hurt. He's not in a good situation. All right, we're going to go to lunch because we only have an hour, 55 minutes now, 50 minutes before we come back. Holy cow, time's flying. So we're going to give everybody an hour-ish to go get lunch and come back and be here for the afternoon session. We may soon, now that in the timeline we have taken the defendant into custody, we may be approaching the time where we have his statement to police, which was given in custody willingly. And we might get to watch that. I think that's going to be very telling, especially considering the evidence we've heard with his phone, where it was, when it was there, how the stop happened, how the kids were, the condition of the kids when it happened, hearing his story and his version of the events and how they mesh up or don't mesh up is going to be quite telling, I think. Celestial Force, delayed pumpkin fund. That was fun, man. Thank you for being an awesome person and making the world a better place. Celestial Force, thank you very much. The pumpkins are out on the front porch right now. We have to get to 1,000 likes before we leave. We'll never leave. We need 300. Well, 297. We need 297 likes that we don't have right now. I said yesterday in chat, I have a friend and her grandson was taken on a regular visit and didn't bring him back. It took a while to locate them. No Amber Alert at first. Tennessee has a new law called Noah's Law to cover that. I can see over time, after the kidnapping occurs, how it would apply. But until that separation has occurred, I don't know how it's a crime. I don't know how defense can say I was defending my children from something that was going to happen. All right. We've got the music. We're ready to go. It's down to consent. If one parent does not consent to the children being taken by the other, maybe. Yes, but one parent is all that's needed for consent for decisions at school and field trips and permissions and medical treatment. And it could be either if it's joint custody. So it's a gray area. It's a sad area because no matter what, when it comes to a problem, the kid loses. The kid loses. When the parents don't agree, the kids lose. Do the YouTube things, hit the thumbs up. We got another 31 of you to do that, so that's great. Do we get to go Christmas shopping with you guys this year too? It's all on Amazon. I tell you, we're pretty lazy when it comes to that. It might be soon. I don't know. Mrs. R.A. will do it. Most of it. She'll put everything in the cart, and then I'll go down and I'll peruse the list, and I'll say, yes, no, maybe so, and I'll make some suggestions. She'll veto all of them, and then she'll get the good gift. All right, tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love. Smile at someone. Make their day just a little bit better. And please stay safe. We go live again in about 45 minutes. We'll see you at 12:55 Eastern Time, Part 2, Day 2, on the way. You guys be good. We'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.